I'm talking about, but I agree with your premise entirely.
I can't imagine anything has anything to do with what you're talking about.
Here's what it was. I feel my wife erroneously labeled me. And I say, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, man, it sounds terrible. Labels are for jam jars, like calories, and they say Smuckers. And
I stand corrected. It makes perfect sense.
What do you think has labels? What would you do better?
Only jam jars, yeah.
Well, I know other things have labels. Paul, my shirt has a label.
It does?
I would assume. My pants have a label. Don't they all? Everything. All right, you guys are mean.
No, a lot of things are labelless now because they're like tagless and labelless because they itch you.
Nope, label right here on my brand new shirt. But I see you could have been right if you weren't so wrong.
I don't have one. It's gonna be that kind of morning.
Let me explain this to you, and you can join me in the I Hate Amy club that I'm starting.
Oh no!
Well, here's what happened. We had a full day. It was great. I had a lot of a good time, and I expressed my feelings a lot. To the point, I'm assuming, where it gets nauseating a little bit. Oh, I love you, Pookie Wookie Dookie. Oh, I can't believe how great I did with you. My life was never this great before. I like our cat. Everything's really good. Let's hang out more. So, but that's the way most of the day was. And then I got home, and I wanted to put stuff for today in my backpack. And I reached in my backpack, and it's full of salami. Not like contained salami.
It's just loose salami?
Loose salami.
Not pieces, whole salami.
No, sliced up slice of salami with little cubes of cheese, but they're not as messy as the sliced up. But then here to add to the messy, olives. And they're all running around my backpack.
Wow.
Making goo. And I will give her this. I did react, but imagine reaching into your backpack that you reach into every day, and instead of finding at this point nothing like it should be, so you can put more stuff in it, you put your hand into wet salami, olive, and cheese slices.
Yeah.
So I went, gosh darn it, and I probably didn't say that. Why is there salami in my backpack? What's the matter? Did you put salami in my backpack? Why does everybody put salami in my backpack? And Amy, I believe, referring to the good mood I've been in all day, which is true, says, God, you are so moody. Do you get where she's stupid?
No.
All right, I'll explain then.
There's a reason for your anger,
Totally.
and it's not your mood changing just willy-nilly. It's because there's some sort of
it's like
appetizer scattered around the bottom of your...
There's like a green room tray,
right.
sliced salami and olives and cheese. So that's what I said to her, except where you said it, well, you know, it's appropriate for your mood. There were salami slices.
I'm going to guess you might have overreacted.
Oh, I reacted exactly, Paul, just louder. I said, no, man, I'm not moody. This is still, you can't call me moody. That's just blah, blah, blah. There's really salami slices. It's like I imagine someday there might be salami slices, and so I'm behaving like this. They're real salami slices.
And were there? Did everyone see the salami slices?
Believe me, I checked.
Okay.
I absolutely checked. So I just felt it was unfair to be labeled.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you.
Gosh, you're moody.
I'm trying to tell you a story about my wife not understanding me. You can't call me moody.
I mean, both things can be true. You can be moody, and that could have been the appropriate response to the situation.
Except for one thing. You're wrong. It can only be me being right.
Yeah.
There was salami and olives. I'm going to give the cheese a break. I don't think it leaked anywhere, but the salami and the olives, once get together, it was a thing.
Here's a legit question, though.
Yeah.
Whose fault was it?
Whose fault was what?
How did it all get there loose in your backpack?
Clearly Amy's fault. You didn't put it there, did you?
Well, yeah, in a way.
Oh, then
I put it in one
of Danny's fault.
No, hang on. And okay, my fault doesn't change anything.
Right, yeah, you can still be upset about it.
I have a Tupperware thing just like this one I hold in my hand.
Yeah.
And I put it into my backpack every single day with some Jell-O, little Jell-O. It's like I'm 9 years old.
Yes.
I put my Jell-O and whatever.
Do you cut the crust off the sandwich?
She does. I don't.
Really?
Don't
Okay.
be. No. I like crust. I say she eats pizza like a child. We go to a good pizza place, and Amy and I can do some damage to some real pizzas.
Yeah.
And we could do 5 pieces each easily. And 5 pieces when you leave the crust like a surly 6-year-old, it's a pile of crust. People have to hate you.
Yeah.
You know, if you're at Domino's, fine, leave the crust. Right. But if you're Via Tribunale or something like that, hard work went into getting that crust just right. Now I might be moody. I'm not sure how this is going to unfold.
I can see your face. You're getting angry.
I can see your face. You're right there. But so anyway, back to my thing. So and I want to talk about it. So I put my Tupperware in, and apparently it came open. So I don't know whose fault it was. It was nobody's fault. I don't care whose fault it was. If it was your fault, you're forgiven. If it was my fault, sorry. That doesn't change the fact that there was loose salami in my backpack, and I smelled like I worked in an Italian morgue when I brought my hand. I was like, oh, God, what have you been doing with yourself?
Did it ruin your day?
No, but I didn't dig that. I don't know. Can you wash backpacks?
Yeah, with a sponge, not in the washing machine.
Is that true? It seemed true because I picked it up and was going to say, just throw this in the washing machine. And by the feel of it, I thought, no, you can't do that. It'll never be the same shape again, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would just wipe it out, yeah.
No, I'm going to burn it.
Okay.
I feel it must be burnt. So, it doesn't matter whose fault it was. Still, I was in a great mood. All right, Paul, you're Amy. Ready?
Yeah, okay.
All day long. I love you so much. My life is so much better with you. Hey, thanks for going to see that sailing movie with me. I wanted to sail my whole life, and you're the only one who's ever understood me. God, I go, there's salami. What the hell's going on in life with all this salami?
You're so moody.
No, I'm not. I have one mood, and it's hate for you.
So you did go to see that movie yesterday.
Adrift, yeah.
And?
It was
spoiler alert.
Good for it's called Adrift, and it's about being adrift. I think I'm all right here. But it was really good because it's my thing in life. We talked about it 100 times. My bucket list has always been to sail around the world. Now I don't have that kind of time, nor even that inclination. It's hard. It's disastrous.
It's a lot of work.
Matter of fact, when the girl says to the guy that eventually she'll sail with, what's it like sailing around the world? And he looks at her, and she's waiting because he's this real handsome guy on a gorgeous boat. And he goes, oh, my God, it's awful. He said, you're constantly wet. You're constantly cold. You're mostly out of food. And he goes down a real litany that I know to be true. It's not that funny, really. You're sunburnt. Sand is crusting on you.
Yeah.
So she went and saw with me. So I don't want to do that anymore, but I'd still, I'd sail from here to L.A. or L.A. to Cabo and stuff like that.
That'd
and
be
I
great.
thought, well, yeah, wouldn't it be great? Plus, if you do those sails, you can pull in every night at the yacht club and have a drink.
Yeah.
That's sailing, mister.
A man was arrested after an SUV explosion rocked a Federal Way neighborhood last night. It happened just about 6 p.m., 4th Avenue Southwest between 297th and 299th Streets. According to the South King County Fire and Rescue, there were not any injuries, but this was a massive explosion.
Did you see it by any chance?
I did.
Oh, my God. Nobody was hurt, like you said, but whatever did that was dead serious. It's open like a tuna can or any kind of can. Like.
The man was arrested for malicious explosion of a substance in the second degree because it was a vehicle, and detectives are now trying to figure out exactly how it happened. The ATF has joined the investigation because, as you said, this was a big explosion.
Yeah, it's huge.
It looked like a tuna can.
They said the only thing they have so far is that the explosion may have started in the rear, which happens to me, but not with that kind of force. It was crazy.
The Washington Apple Commission says Mexico will immediately slap a 20% tariff on apples from the United States in response to the Trump administration's tariffs on aluminum and steel. The commission said yesterday that Washington State, the leading apple producer, Mexico is their biggest export market. And of course, this is a big concern for the state of Washington.
Why are they picking on us, though? Our state doesn't even particularly care for the guy. Right? Like none of us are saying, yeah, let's put tariffs on.
I don't think, it doesn't matter. We're not, because that would be the case if we were 50 independent countries. We'd say, well, we don't have to answer that guy. We're not. We're State of the Union, so we have to pay attention to what the president says, no matter how wrong this guy is. And even with that, they're not attacking us. They're attacking apples, and it's going to hurt us.
Yeah.
Well, what else is America's biggest export to Mexico?
I don't know.
Right. There's not a ton.
Rich
get a
white
lot.
people to work in the fields.
We get a lot from them as opposed to them getting a lot from us.
I didn't know we sent those guys apples.
13.7 million 40-pound cartons last year that valued more than $215 million went to Mexico. Now, we know we're the biggest apple producer around.
Yeah.
So,
I think in the country. aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of boss. I like that. And they're good. You know, when I first came here and everybody was talking about Washington apples, all right, so you've got some pride. It's an apple. But it's not an apple. It's spectacular.
Yeah.
And some good news in the news.
Love that.
Shake Shack is a burger chain that has mainly been on the East Coast.
Yeah.
There's a location in, I think it's Amsterdam. They're starting to really spread out.
Yeah, I saw it when I was on some kind of trip to New York, and I saw it. Went, oh, I heard about that, but I don't know if I just saw it on Seinfeld or whatever it was. I saw it on TV, and it's this huge hit. And I said, let's go. And it was in kind of dead center in the middle of this park. And I went around these trees, and there was 100 people long line.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
said, okay.
I've only seen it in airports, and it's the same thing. There's 50, 60 people in line.
It's like they want a pierogi.
Yeah.
Lines all the time.
Well, it is coming to Seattle. They are going to be popping one up in, they're going to be putting one up in South Lake Union. But before then, they're doing a pop-up in the parking lot of Canlis.
I don't feel that that's a great choice.
It's
Pretty crazy,
interesting.
right?
I mean, they're gourmet shakes. Although I've never had one, but I believe them to be gourmet shakes, and then the Canlis thing makes sense. But you can only get to it from one side of the street. You can't take a left and be a Canlis.
Yes.
You have to go 2 miles in each direction to get to Canlis. And it's a small parking lot. I don't think it's a great idea.
Well, they're advising that you take Uber or Lyft because of everything you just said. Now, this is one day only, June 23rd. The Shack Burger is $6. Crinkle cut fries are $3. Canlis will also offer a Dungeness crab melt because that's Canlis, and that's kind of what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
But the pop-up is going to be from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. They said it's going to be more like a summer festival. There's going to be live bands, lawn games for the kids. They're making this into kind of an all-day fun event.
Bring back lawn darts. I miss lawn darts. Here, catch us in your chest. It was a great game.
On to national and international news, and your news this morning is brought to you by Les Schwab. President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un will now have a place where they're going to have this big historic meeting, a luxury resort on Sentosa Island in Singapore. This is a beautiful hotel called the Capella Hotel. It's secluded. It's for the rich and famous.
Yeah, it sounds like they're honeymooning.
Yeah. Well, this is according to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who sent out the tweet. But we're also getting unconfirmed reports. Several news sources are reporting Dennis Rodman will be there.
Oh
You
my
swear
God.
to God.
As I said, this has not been confirmed by the White House yet. But there are several news outlets reporting that Dennis Rodman will be in Singapore.
And at the end of the episode, Trump fires one of them.
Right. That's amazing. And it's such a bad idea. Now, it could be that just somebody, because I don't think that guy really speaks English anymore, to be honest with you. I think he's just rattled in his brain, Mr. Rodman.
I did not know what we were talking
Right.
about.
That's why I clarified it. So the fact is somebody might have told him this will be good for you to be in Singapore, and they'll say Dennis Rodman is also going to be in Singapore.
Yeah.
Because I can't see him being anything but a disruption.
Well, they say he could be a good go-between because he does, like it or not, have a relationship with Kim
Right.
Jong-un.
Yeah, with both of them. A great relationship with both of them.
Both of who?
So weird. The president and the leader of North Korea.
That is true. So he could potentially be an icebreaker.
I hope not. I think it's disgraceful.
It's so weird.
It's pretty
It
crazy.
is. It is weird, but it's weird and disgraceful.
Yeah.
I think, the guy with all the things in his nose and lips and faces and being, side by side with the president of these here United States, no matter how much I dislike the guy, he's the president of the here United States. If I didn't like the national anthem, I'd still stand if I thought, it's a terrible song, which it probably kind of is a little bit. I don't know what Francis Scott Key was even up to, but I'd still stand for it. I don't love this guy's moves, but he's the president. You don't need Dennis Rodman there.
Russian President Vladimir Putin gave an interview and said that he and President Trump regularly talk over the phone and that they are making a good team in the fight against terrorism. Now, many have thought they're kind of keeping their distance because there's a little bit of drama
Right.
involving Russia, the election, and our president.
I thought they'd be really good friends, or at least allies, if it weren't for all this drama.
Mm-hmm. Well, he says that they talk all the time and that he supports Donald Trump and everything that he's doing, They've only met in person twice, but he says talk on the phone all the time.
That's adorable. Now, do they just sit and talk in English, or do they have the translators on the phone?
I didn't hear any explanation from Putin. I don't even know that we believe him.
I've just wondered a lot. I think that guy speaks English.
Yeah.
And most
I'm
people,
sure he does, yeah.
Most heads of state speak okay English.
Yeah.
I was talking to my mom last night, and she was like bugging me, but she's 100. That's bound to happen. And she said she couldn't understand me. I said, well, that's you, Mom. You're 100. She said, no, it's you. There's something wrong with your voice. And I said, no. And she said, yes, because the device I have that spells what you're saying is also not understanding you.
Oh.
But I didn't know she had that. What's she doing with that? Did I pay for that? What's happening with that?
Does she have hearing issues?
Yes.
Well, that's it then. So that the phone reads her.
Yeah, but it's just a brand new element to me. I had no idea that she had one. The only guy I ever talked to with that before was Lou Ferrigno. And I used to make stuff up to confuse him. It was very funny.
I think a lot of that stuff is more accessible now, and it is for hearing impaired people. So the concern is money. I don't think they're very expensive.
No, she had. I'm guessing you have to have a prescription for it. You just can't go to Rite Aid or Radio Shack and buy. Can you have the lip machine? And tell me how that works.
Radio what?
What'd I say?
You said Radio Shack. I'm just kidding because
they're not around anymore.
Oh.
I think there's a couple out there still.
There are. I just saw one and did a big to do about it. Oh, no, Radio Shack. I didn't know they still had those.
Students at a high school had a very nice surprise for a woman that helps to feed them every day. They said that's the cafeteria lady, Deborah Davis. They call her Auntie Deb. And that she's one of those people that the kids see every single day. Some people see her for breakfast and for lunch. And that she always has a smile for the kids. And they decided they wanted to do something to pay back her kindness. And towards the end of this school year, they decided to surprise her with a car. Her old ride was a 76 Chevy Malibu and wasn't in great shape. So the students worked with the auto body department of the school and refurbished a car for her, making it look like new. So it's not a brand new car off a lot.
Wait, is it still her car?
They gave it to her. So they got a car and decided to refurbish it, make it look awesome, and then surprised her with this new car.
With a better used car.
New car to her. But yeah, a 76 Chevy Malibu that was not in great shape.
There's no 76 anything. It's in good shape. I'm 59 and I'm a wreck.
So it was the auto shop program at the school, and they all worked together and gave her a car.
Oh,
You can't poo-poo it, you people.
Oh, we most certainly can. What do you mean, you people? Wasn't that the plot of Corvette Summer? They all got together and built a car.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think
you were
they,
in it, right?
Yeah, I don't think we
I
gave
love
it.
that you're looking at Paul thinking he knows the premise to a movie
I
you
thought
were
he'd
in.
seen it more recently than I had, but we didn't give it to a cook. Oh.
No, who'd you give it to?
I had it stolen because I was an idiot in a top hat.
And a sad story making news is about designer Kate Spade.
Yeah.
She was found dead of an apparent suicide yesterday in her home in New York City. Kate Spade was just 55. She did leave a suicide note behind.
Oh, she did. The last news story I saw, she hadn't, and I was very curious.
No, she did. She left a note for her 13-year-old daughter, said, "I have always loved you. This is not your fault. Ask Daddy." Now, her family has spoken out and said she had been struggling with mental health issues,
Apparently.
extreme depression, and that another report is that she and her husband were separated and that the marriage was not going well. Kate Spade, just 55, as I said, leaving behind a 13-year-old daughter. And it's a good time to mention that if you or someone you know needs help and is having thoughts of this nature, that the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is there for you all the time. 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255.
You know, if the numbers that I usually make up are accurate, suicide, 10th leading cause of death in America.
That's tragic.
That's tragic, man. But I feel terrible for her because you're crazy, so you have to excuse some stuff. But you leave a note for a 13-year-old after you hang yourself in the world's, I don't know about the world's worst way, but certainly I couldn't do it at all ever. We've discussed this. I just don't have what it takes to do that. She hung herself from a doorknob.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
How do you do that? You have to lean forward. You have to do it. You could quit any time.
Yeah.
Wow.
A man was found naked in a field, called police and said, "I'm naked, I'm in a field, and I don't know how I got here."
Yeah. It's embarrassing when you have to make that call.
Well, police said that they had gotten some calls about a naked man in a field, and they went over to him, and he said, "Yep, I'm naked. I'm in a field. I don't know how I got here." They have not figured out.
You'd think he'd know the answer to at least one of those three things. Why am I naked? Why am I in a field? How'd I get here?
He says last thing he remembers is being on a boat with a bunch of his friends on the Illinois River. Next thing he knew, naked, in a field, no friends.
You know, I lived in Chicago for probably the second longest I've ever lived anywhere besides Los Angeles. And I've drank, whatever. I had libations, drinked it on the Illinois River, and I can see that people drink in Chicago or in Illinois, man.
But can you really call those guys friends? Like, obviously, they didn't report the incident or whatever incident took place.
That's a good point.
Well, you know, we don't know how belligerent this guy came. Believe me, if I were drinking, I could convince you guys to abandon me.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all out drinking on the Illinois River.
Yeah.
Danny's off the wagon, and he's being Danny, and he decides to jump off the boat, take off all his clothes, and jump off the boat. Do we wait for him, or do we keep going, Paul? What do you think?
I would wait for him, and I would call the authorities.
Yeah, and to be
I would
honest
attempt
with you,
to save him in the meantime.
Yeah, I'll go with your premise, but you would jump in. I know you would.
Yeah.
If you decided to go for a swim and then say, I'm going to go lay in that field for a while, we'd probably just let you
As
go.
painful as it would be to wrestle a drunken Danny Bonaduce naked to the ground.
And I'm semi-shocked you wouldn't. You actually swim in these waters.
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, see you later. See you tomorrow. Have a good weekend.
Again, so can you really call them friends?
Friends, and apparently no.
Good news for people who like to wear socks with their sandals. You no longer need to purchase them separately. There is now a sock-sandal hybrid thanks to Crocs.
You know, and do they have that pocket, the fanny pack in the clampy thing?
Nope, that's just totally different sandal
I want them
altogether.
all.
One or the other.
The sock is attached to the Croc?
Yes.
How do you wash them?
How do you wash them?
You
do you
don't.
wash 'em?
Good point.
Well, Crocs are plastic anyway, so you don't really need to. You just hose them off.
No, but
What
you got to
about the
wash the
socks?
socks.
Well, this is a company called A-Life. It's a streetwear company.
As in get a?
Yes. And they said these are tube socks attached to Crocs. And it's got the red and white stripe, like a retro tube sock that you saw people wearing in the 70s while they roller skated.
Yeah.
You mean the Bay City Rollers?
Now, they said, unfortunately, these are quite expensive. $140.
Yeah, that's very expensive for ugly things with socks.
Crocs with socks.
Oh, I like that.
Now, there are some that have different patterns on them. There's some that have shoe charms.
So if you buy these and you want a different pair of socks, you have to buy another $140 pair of
Yes.
shoes.
Yep.
Clever marketing, I guess.
If you want some bling, they can run up to $600 for Crocs with socks.
And they don't explain how they don't just get nasty,
Dirty.
smelly, gross.
Well, how gross are you guys
Gross.
with your?
Gross enough
Totally
that we
gross.
wash our socks after
Every
a couple
single
of
time.
uses.
I'm wondering if they're not some sort of machine washable because Crocs are plastic and socks are socks.
Still, the wear and tear on your washing machine. You ever wash shoes?
Yeah, no,
it's a
it's
whole
not a good
thing,
idea.
man.
So I guess y'all aren't clamoring to go get these.
No.
No.
$140.
And by
Crocs.
my closet will not take one more pair of shoes. One more pair of novelty shoes. Look today. I didn't know we were going to talk about it. I got crazy ass shoes on today.
Oh, yeah, look at those. You could wash those in the sink.
I would not. They're beautiful and they will not get wet. And I will run into a building if it starts to rain.
Who's on your socks?
I don't know.
You got some sort of weird pattern.
Palm
on your
trees.
socks. Ooh.
And my heel is way up on my calf. But we discussed that yesterday.
How do you
they're
do
little,
that?
They're little palmy treesies.
Oh, palm trees.
No, palmy trees.
Palmy
No,
trees, these
I'm
little
an
palm
adult.
What's wrong with you? An adult who would watch me drowned.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, she said she wouldn't watch it. She'd leave. She would leave the scene.
Huh. Danny was in there a minute ago. Hey, I'm going to go get something to eat. I want some wings.
Yeah.
A pair of pigs escaped from their home in Australia and were caught hanging around inside the gas station. So just like a 7-Eleven, like Silent Bob and what's his butt? Jay and Silent
To
Bob.
be honest with you, one of my great memories looking back is getting a beer, drinking it out of a bag so I didn't get arrested, and sitting on the curb with a couple of buddies and drinking.
Right outside of the
I loved
convenience
hanging
store.
at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And a couple of pigs.
Well, in
Or did
this
that not
case,
happen?
Believe me, on occasion.
but you guys have the mental image of what this looks like.
Yeah.
But in this case, it was a pair of pigs. There's video that shows these pigs, they escape from home. They're waddling on down the street.
Pigs don't waddle. Turkeys waddle, I think. No, they
turkeys
have
have a waddle. They are then shown hanging around the gas station just like Silent Bob and Jay.
Like with that trench coat on.
And looking
backwards.
looking a great deal like Jay, if you know what I'm saying. Although I think he had that lamp band surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's Silent Bob, though.
Jay
Kevin
is
Smith is
the tall,
right.
skinny one that you went to rehab.
Yeah, with rehab.
And he's lost a ton of weight because he had a heart attack.
Well, Jay can't have lost a ton of weight. He'd be
No,
dead.
Silent
He weighed
Bob,
like 7
Kevin
pounds.
Smith.
when I
Kevin
met him.
Smith. Yes, he is now svelte. Back to the pigs.
Yeah.
They're
Does he still
loitering
wear the
outside-
jersey?
He does.
I don't
Yeah.
like
He's
that.
a hockey
got
fan.
smaller
He's a
ones,
real
though.
director. You don't have to always wear the hat and jersey so people know it's you.
Oh, he doesn't wear a hat as often anymore.
He doesn't? I feel better
His
about it.
podcast is very successful.
Very.
Yeah.
He's a
Star on the Hollywood Walk of
little
Fame.
bit
does.
jealous. He does not.
Yes, he does. Back
He
to the
does
pigs.
not. No way.
Pigs escape from home. They're found loitering outside the gas station. They're napping. They're in front of the door, wondering why nobody will let them in for a Slurpee. Finally, the pig's owner goes outside, looks around for the pigs, and had to go collect them and put them in. You bad pigs hanging outside 7-Eleven all day.
But he knew that he'd find them at 7-Eleven.
Well, he just started roaming the streets and said, oh, well, that's where I'd go.
My pigs dig Slurpees, man.
Yep. A tanker truck lost its load, 30,000 pounds of milk, when it overturned onto an Iowa highway.
And you can't even cry over it either. That's the tough part.
No, you absolutely cannot.
Really?
Sorry.
Really?
You know,
Yes.
I can't grade. I do them all day.
Really.
You wanted to do it, Danny. He just beat you to it.
Yeah.
30,000 pounds of milk or 3,500 gallons all over the road. There might have been a couple of tears because the driver is being cited for failure to maintain control
Of milk?
of
the
his
truck.
load, of his vehicle.
I get it.
Snickers.
Man, it's 6:18 and she's already through with us.
What gave that away? Snickers has 3 new flavors. They're calling them intense flavors.
All right.
So the regular Snickers bar, kind of hard not to love, right? It's delicious.
Yeah, it is delicious.
They've got 3 new flavors: espresso, fiery, and salty and sweet.
I think that's 4.
Salty
Maybe-
and sweet are one flavor.
Maybe you used to call it right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Each bar features peanuts and caramel covered in milk chocolate.
That's normal. That's a
Yeah.
Snickers.
But then
But they
it is
don't take
either
that away, is what she's saying.
Right, yeah,
I think.
okay.
espresso or chili pepper
All right, wait, do me a favor.
or salt infused.
Go back to the top of the list and read them one at a time. And at the same time, we're going to yell yes or no for our vote.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it a
So
good idea?
inside is normal. It's a normal Snickers bar.
Right.
Yes.
Peanuts, caramel, covered in milk chocolate. But
Yes.
then the addition is espresso.
Yes.
No.
Fiery, which is chili pepper.
Yes.
Salt infused, which is the salty sweet.
Yes.
Okay, so we're,
Oh, so you're knowing the
Espresso? Yeah, I'm not a coffee guy.
Okay,
doesn't
right,
do
that's
coffee.
right. That's right. Because one of my favorite flavors of ice cream is coffee.
I can see that, and it's somehow a little bit different. But Paul, you
I
want
bet
to
it'd be
do
a
that?
big seller, just not for me.
Yeah. Absolutely want to go get the fiery right now.
Yeah.
Think it's in our vending machine? Probably not.
No. If it's dated after 2010, it's not in our vending machine.
But if it were in there, it'd be 15 cents, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Is our vending machine 15 cents?
I don't know.
It's quite affordable.
The sodas are 25.
Yeah, sodas
so
are 25. When you
candy
get into
bars.
that fancy kitchen they put in,
Oh, yeah.
that's real money on that stuff. The mac and cheese, $72. Might be making that part up, but it's expensive.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida Star of the Day.
Yay!
A Florida police officer who had just moved to Florida from Michigan got a crash course in local Florida flavor when he spotted a three-legged alligator crossing the road.
That's a
Three-legged.
alligator.
Some of your finest work, Derek.
Yeah, no, I love it. I didn't even know. Oh, wait. That was Derek.
Yeah.
Wow, that was amazing,
No,
man.
that was one of those swap people.
Oh,
Play
yeah.
that again.
That's a
Three-legged.
alligator.
Oh, you even did the accent.
Three-legged.
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 Here's your three-legged alligator.
Come on, can I hear that one more time?
That's a
Three-legged.
alligator.
I can just see the bib overalls on Derek.
Very
Yep.
nice.
I
Well,
was born in Florida. You had no idea.
I did have no idea.
Explains a lot, though.
It was a three-legged alligator. Now, he had just moved to Florida, not the three-legged alligator, the cop, from Kalamazoo. And he's walking down the road, gets a call, and goes out to check it out. And there is a 6-foot-long alligator. Well, it's a 3-foot alligator who's 6 feet long.
And this is a cop, so he probably had a gun. So, is he the guy that shot that thing's paw?
They were able to call trappers to help capture the gator, get him off the road, and the Facebook post said, "Welcome to Florida, Officer Wells."
Would you fight a 6-foot alligator?
With 3 legs? Oh, yeah, totally.
Totally.
3 legs. Yeah.
Get it off kilter.
Yeah.
I would just attach the handle to the entire gator and make a handbag.
It would walk in circles, so I just wait till it got dizzy,
Yeah.
Like got the 3 legs.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
News is brought to you by Les Schwab. We are going to take a short break, but we've got music news right around the corner. Entertainment. One of the stories we'll be talking about, turns out Danny DeVito is pretty amazing. We will tell you what he did. A sad passing from Hollywood. A lot of sports drama going on, plus we've got a pair of Mariners tickets that you can win next. Starting with music news, Grateful Dead fans will soon be able to get together at cinemas around the country for the 8th annual Grateful Dead Up at the Movies. This year's event is presented by Fathom Events, and it will take place August 1st, which would have been Jerry Garcia's 76th birthday. This year's show, what they will show in theaters, is the July 7th, 1989 performance from JFK Stadium in Philadelphia. It was the last concert.
Weird. I was there.
Were you
And
at the Grateful Dead show?
I'm not even a fan. No, I never made it inside. I got high with a bunch of people, and that was the end of that.
I think that's how most of the people
I sucked
go
this
there.
whole giant balloon of nitrous oxide. That you buy these balloons for like $5. This was This was just so much fun. But no, I never saw it. It just seems so weird for a band I've never seen. Yet I was there.
Well, this was the last concert ever played at JFK Stadium in Philadelphia. It was 4 years earlier that this venue hosted Live Aid, and the Grateful Dead were in the process of recording Built to Last, Standing on the Moon, and Blow Away. Those did make the set. They said the concert almost didn't take place because there were fire hazards. The building was in such bad shape. They said 20,000 people were already in the building, but by the time they were like, this maybe isn't the safest place for a concert, well, let's just do it anyway.
That's Philly.
And they did it and then demolished it right afterwards. So if you
as the people were leaving, they kind of tore it down themselves.
You know what's weird is because I have kind of a harsh memory of Philly from all the times I was there when I got there in '88 and when we were there and I was there another time before that. And the people there are kind of harsh. And now that I think about it, I have nothing but good memories about that night. Now, I have memories of people had horns. So I don't know how accurate my memories were, but that was a great night out in Philly.
Well, if you want to go to a theater to watch the Grateful Dead's concert, you can go to the Fathom Events website because it's across the country.
Yeah, you know what I would like to do, honest to God?
What's that?
I'd like to go, like I'm going to go to the movie. And then meet some people and take a bunch of drugs.
Yeah.
And then not see the movie. And that way I would have like a theme going with the Grateful Dead and my appreciation for them.
Well, perhaps there'll be somebody selling balloons outside.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. In the parking lot, there's got to be
balloons.
Yeah. Not that I advocate that kind of behavior.
Right, don't do it.
Don't do it.
At 7:20 today, we've got another chance for you to win tickets to see CCR and Blue Oyster Cult, June 29th at the Tulalip Amphitheater. Be here at 7:20 to win those tickets.
Thank you, Sarah. I totally appreciate that. Do you see? It's not a thing. She'd have said, CCR and BOC, but she didn't say that.
100%.
You didn't say that.
Love BOC, baby.
You don't.
It's totally a thing. I'm going to wear my BOC t-shirt, I think, tomorrow.
Go home and get one. It wasn't made yesterday.
Hey, look, Tori is the big music fanatic on this show. She lives, eats, sleeps, and breathes classic rock.
Now, is Tori going to try and impress you with her answer, or is she going to answer honestly?
She'll be honest and tell us the truth. Tori,
it's been around forever since the band started. BOC.
You 100%. Can't even spell BOC.
Bach.
See, wrong band.
Justin Bieber and Mythos Studios are developing an animated film based on Cupid. And Justin Bieber will be the executive producer and the star of the movie.
All right.
Now, of course, in mythology, Cupid is the winged god of love, the son of Venus, and the god of Mars. The son of the god
But he's
Mars.
not like a cute little baby with a cute little bow and arrow, is he?
Yep.
He is? In the mythology, he is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Hey, at least he is on the Valentine's cards.
Right. But I thought in
Hallmark
mythology,
version.
he was life-size and was pranking did pranks and stuff.
Yeah, mischievous personality, playful, carries a magic bow and arrow.
He doesn't throw eggs at people's house.
That's Justin Bieber.
That's
Justin Bieber throws eggs.
Yeah.
Cupid throws arrows. Justin Bieber will
Shade.
be the voice.
You ever talk to that guy?
Oh, it's animated.
Animated. Y'all missed that part. The animated movie.
No, we don't listen.
No, I didn't miss that part. Paul's on
Paul
drugs.
missed that part.
BOC.
Anyway, he's been trying to get into movies, and this would be his first big foray.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the guy and I root for him, but I didn't expect him to stay around this long, to be honest with you. I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to be 30 eventually. What do you do with a Justin Bieber that's 30?
Polish his star on the Hollywood Walk
Yeah,
of Fame.
probably.
The movie doesn't sound like a hit, though.
No, it doesn't. September 21st and 22nd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, KZOK and iHeartRadio present the biggest weekend of music all year long. It's our 2018 iHeartRadio Music Festival. That's right, it is back and tickets go on sale next Friday. And all this week, KZOK giving you a chance to win your way into the show. Here's how it works. You're listening for a new keyword. You text it to 200-200, and it's your chance to win a trip for two to Vegas to see Lynyrd Skynyrd and a bazillion other awesome people. The iHeartRadio Music Festival, you'll get tickets at both nights, by the way. Airfare, hotel accommodations. You can get the full lineup and details at iHeartRadio.com. Plus, this hour, we're giving people a chance to win, Paul?
This hour. And I'd like
that.
to say that officially the number is a little less than a bazillion people that are performing there, but it's a lot of people, yeah.
Okay, sorry. I don't want to get sued.
No, but there's a, well, I can't say a ton either. Well, I don't know. I haven't weighed these people.
No, I think you're safe with a ton, to be honest with you.
A ton
At
of
least half a ton
fantastic
for
artists.
sure.
Yes.
If everybody's 100 pounds and there's 10 of them, that's half a ton right there. Yeah, no, you can say a ton.
Okay.
I've done the math.
I know of 18 artists over the 2 nights, and then there's also a daytime stage as well. With
Oh, a
bunch of
ton,
artists.
totally.
Yeah,
Plus,
definitely
who
a ton.
knows how Mariah Carey's taking care of herself these days? Could be a ton right there. What? You ever see her boobs? 400 pounds right there. She's still coming, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Bad.
Maybe we don't play this for
Yeah,
Mariah.
I'm the only disc jockey in America going after Mariah's boobs.
Danny DeVito surprised one of his fans by doing something awesome
Awesome.
on the set of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So Danny DeVito, currently filming the 13th season of the cult sitcom. He's a star as Frank Reynolds. He decided to show up to the set paying homage to a superfan. This is a girl named Allison Kloss. You may remember this girl, Allison, just a few short weeks ago, took a cardboard cutout of Danny DeVito to her high school prom in Philadelphia.
I do remember.
She made international news. She had the cutout of Danny DeVito on a little skateboard, little scooter,
Super cool.
and just took Danny DeVito to the prom. So he decided to take Allison to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
What do you mean?
He showed up on the set with a cardboard cutout of Allison.
Like life size, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, that's even cooler than if he had actually invited her to the set.
I believe that is. Here's my only drawback with it, to be honest with you. There's a very good possibility that that's the biggest day of her life ever. And she was barely even involved. Like, I don't know, is she ever going to top that? Do you remember the day Danny DeVito made a cardboard cutout of you that was 5 feet tall? Oh, yeah, that was great. All right, now we're bowling with the kids.
They posted a picture to social media of Danny DeVito with a cardboard cutout of Allison Kloss and posted, "I heard you took cardboard Danny to prom. What a coincidence. He took cardboard Allison to Patty's."
Very nice. That's a good move on his
Good
part.
sense of humor. Oprah Winfrey is getting an honor. The National Museum of African American History and Culture will host a temporary visit that will be chronicling the life of Oprah. This will open on Friday and run through June of next year.
What is it?
It is something called Watching Oprah, The Oprah Winfrey Show, and American Culture. It'll be a temporary exhibit
Oh, okay.
that shows her personal collection. It'll have photos, videos, understanding the impact of the Oprah Winfrey Show and its influence on American society.
Her collection of what? What'd she collect? Cars?
No, I mean, it's probably her microphone, it's personal pictures.
The Oprah Winfrey collection. I got it.
Yeah. And that, her show was on for 25 seasons, 1986 to 2011. It averaged between 10 and 20 million viewers a day, 47 Daytime Emmy Awards, 12 NAACP Image Awards. It remains one of the highest rated daytime talk shows in history.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she clearly was a very influential woman.
Well, she was really smart about topics and things like that. That's why I was on it in 1988 and 1990.
I was going to say most of those accolades she can
get
link
from me.
directly back to you.
Absolutely.
The Addams Family is coming back.
All right.
MGM has announced a voice cast for its October 11th, 2019 animated take on the Addams Family.
It's animated. I heard it that time.
Got it.
The actors, I think, are going to surprise you. Charlize Theron, Allison Janney, Bette Midler.
Yeah, okay, now surprised first time.
All Oscar winners and nominees.
Wow.
Well, those people are. Then we've got Chloe Grace Moretz, who is a teenage actress.
Yeah, I kind of like her.
Comedian Nick Kroll. Yeah. And Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things will be Pugsley. So they said, bringing it back, animated this time around. We know it's made a couple of comebacks in the past.
Right, and I think there's been at least one animated version.
There was an animated one, Hanna-Barbera, during the 1970s. But they said, time to bring it back.
And I think they used the real voices of the actors on the TV show.
At that time, it was possible. This time, it is probably not.
Right.
Some sad news from the world of entertainment. Jerry Maren, the world's oldest living Wizard of Oz munchkin, is now somewhere over the rainbow. Jerry has died. His
Okay, I don't think it's appropriate to laugh at that, but she made it very hard not to.
Yes, for sure.
I'm paying homage to the munchkin.
Yeah, you're representing the Lollipop Guild.
By the way, if the truth be known, these were like pretty bad people. The Munchkins?
The Munchkins, yeah.
There's books and movies about their behavior because there's 100 of them in town to make a movie, and they're all drunk and getting into fights.
Yeah.
Well, they said that he was a really nice man. Maybe at the time he wasn't, but a very nice man, and died at the age of 98.
Wow, because normally, I'm assuming, was he a dwarf or a midget?
He was a little person.
Which one, though? I guess then that's a midget, a little person?
A little person is either one. I do not know which one he was. A little person is a way of describing all
But they
people.
don't usually live very long.
Right.
So, wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have health issues.
Health issues all the way up.
98 years old. Several of the Munchkins lived very, very long lives. He had a couple of roles in Hollywood, but best known for being a member of the Lollipop Guild.
The Lollipop Guild. The Lollipop Guild. I'm now doing homage.
You're doing homage well.
I am, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-OA. That's 1-800-DUI-OA. Kyle Seager, Mike Zanino, Gene Segura all homered off Dallas Keuchel early and backed up James Paxton to give the Mariners a victory of 7-1.
Wow. Yay.
Yeah.
So not only are they in first place, but they are separating themselves from their closest rival, which is who we played last night, Houston.
Awesome. Hold it together, boys.
Yeah.
Hold it together, boys.
Don't turn it around.
No, World Series. Got my tickets.
We're on our way.
Scalped them from Paul.
James Paxton gave up 9 hits, just 1 run, 7 2/3 inning that he pitched. Winning streak is now 5 for him. ERA 2.95. He is
Go Big Maple.
Go Big Maple.
Go Big Poppy.
Go Tips.
Go Big League.
What?
That chewing gum stuff is really good.
The Mariners continue their road trip, playing the Houston Astros again with a 5:10 start time on Root Sports. But if you would like to win tickets to an upcoming home game, well, you can call in right now to play an in-studio version of Mariners KZOK Music Trivia. You can call right now, 800-252-1025, and here's how the game works. You need to tell us the title, the artist, and the year it came out. The song clip we're going to play. All right, Derek, hit the clip. Artist, song title, and year it came out. First person to correctly give us that information wins tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. So first pitch, 5:10, we've got Wade LeBlanc against Lance McCullers Jr. UW softball saw their great run at the Softball College World Series come to an end. They lost to Florida State 8-3. Florida State won the first WCWS title.
Bummer.
Tomorrow, the Seattle Storm play the LA Sparks. Tip-off is 7:30.
Tip-off.
Tonight, the Sounders play Sacramento Republic FC. This is part of the U.S. Open Cup fourth round.
Oh, yeah. That's a real thing?
Time.
Sacramento FC?
Sacramento Republic FC.
They're in a lower division. They're not in the Major League Soccer, but I think they're going to be in Major League Soccer.
It's not a nothing town, Sacramento. I've always thought of it as, kind of like Bakersfield, to be honest with you.
Not quite.
And then I met my wife, who was raised there, and it's a real town. It's 500,000 people.
Capital of California.
Yeah.
So, Paul, what were you saying about the soccer team?
They've been given. There'll be a new expansion team. Sacramento will be, I think, 2 years from now.
2 years from now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But this is a different tournament that they're in.
Right. U.S. Open Cup.
Correct. Yeah.
Tonight, Game 3 between the Warriors and Cavs starts at 6. The Golden State is leading that series 2-0, and you can listen to it starting at 6 on our sister station, 950 KJR AM. Go Tips.
Go Tips.
Go Tips.
Nice.
You just took me down that
nice.
road. And the Stanley Cup finals continue tomorrow. Game 5 between the Caps and Golden Knights. Washington leads that series 3-1. In a bit of hockey news, there is an NHL referee named Garrett Rank, who is a part-time golfer living his dream. He officiated 76 NHL games this season. No easy task. These guys are great athletes. But turns out this week he has qualified for the U.S. Open. He shot back-to-back 71s, 2 under par. Another NHL ref caddied for him, this guy Daniel O'Rourke. He said,
"This is awesome.
I'm with the best players in the world on the ice. Next week, I get to play with the best golfers in the world. It's a pretty cool life I'm living right now."
It is. And appreciate it. That's great. And you got your friend caddying because you think, well, I'm new and I really don't know what's up. Get me the world's greatest caddy. Get me Tiger's caddy or something like that. He goes, no, my buddy's going to do it.
Yep.
Use this club. All right.
First U.S. Open.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Congratulations. I'm rooting for this guy. Garrett Rank.
Is that a thing with the U.S. Open and stuff like that? You just have to be good. You don't have to be a member of anything. You just go to a golf course and get under par.
You make it sound really easy, but you have such a qualifying uphill battle. Like, you have to have documentation. It's not like, Rick Jones goes golfing all the time. He can't just say, hey, look what I shot today.
So, but that was actually my question. So if he shot well enough to get in the Masters or whatever it was you were talking about, do they have to take him, or doesn't he have to be in some union-y thing?
He has to win. He has to win other tournaments, non-sanctioned tournaments. Yeah.
And he has to get into those.
Yes.
Okay, I got it now. Thank you.
And congratulations to Darren in Mount Vernon. He knew Mariners KZOK music trivia. Play that clip again, Derek. I think this is the first one since we've started doing it this season that I got right all across the board.
Oh, really? No, I'll never get this one right.
I never get the years. Darren in Mount Vernon knew that was Don Henley. Boys of Summer, 1984.
I was closer than I thought I was going to be because I just make up the year. I never know, and I just say a year.
Right.
I think
4 AD. I say that.
Well, that's off by a little bit.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
Darren in Mount Vernon's going to the Jeep winners window in our lobby to pick up tickets to what, Derek?
Darren won tickets for the game on Friday, June 15th at 7:10 versus the Boston Red Sox, which just happens to be Mariners Fireworks Night.
Mariners Fireworks Night.
Don't miss the first of 5 fireworks nights at Safeco Field featuring the best of baseball music. The Mariners have partnered with Pyro Spectaculars, the same group who produces the New Year's Eve at the Space Needle extravaganza for this big event.
Yeah.
For tickets and more information, go to mariners.com/fireworks.
First place Mariners.
Yeah, by a lot, too.
Yep.
We're like, what, 400 games ahead? Oh, 2 games.
Next chance to win tomorrow morning at this same time. And sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
If it is approximately 7 o'clock in the morning now, that would mean within 20 minutes, we're going to play our new game, and it's called Name That Acronym. And if you can do it, you win a pair of tickets to see CCR and BOC at the DeVito Amphitheater. I forgot who they were. Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah,
Go.
BOC.
It's going to be a great
Better
show.
known as
Not
BOC.
a thing.
Better known as.
Oh, by the way, the text line lit up with everybody saying BOC is totally.
Really? Because I have a handheld texting machine right here.
Yeah, you
It
do.
says your hashtag liar bastard.
So that's what your wife said?
Yes.
All right.
BOC, BKA.
BKA?
Better known as.
I thought you meant like the Barefoot Killer or whatever that was.
AKA.
BTK, yeah.
AKA BOC.
I'm lost. 7:20 if you want to stick around.
Play that game. I don't know that I'm going to.
Yesterday, we talked a little bit about the Miss America pageant because they made a big announcement that they were ending the swimsuit competition. They do not want to judge Miss Americas on appearance, but beauty on the inside.
It's a beauty contest.
Apparently not anymore. I think they're going away with the evening gown as well.
Well, they said they don't want
say
it to
you're going to wear whatever you feel confident in.
Yeah, they're going to wear evening gowns.
Bulletproof vest.
Some of them might wear a bikini. I feel confident in a bikini. I'm going to come out in a bikini. Why not?
Because there might be rules against it. There's a weird time we live in, man.
They're saying you wear whatever you feel confident in.
Right, but they're saying there is no bikini competition or bathing suit.
Correct, yeah,
there will be no more swimsuit competition.
I was watching stories on this on the news after news. Is it required that when you win, you put your hand on your chest and go, me, oh, me, oh, me? I mean, it's almost the exact clip of the woman that won last year and the year before that.
Yeah.
Well, Danny, you mentioned this yesterday when we brought this up that Miss America was ending the swimsuit competition, that it's really crazy. Airlines used to weigh their stewardesses.
Right.
And you're totally right. My mother-in-law worked for Pan Am and then was a flight attendant for Delta. And it was going on for a long time.
No, it was a different world, absolutely. And some might say a better world.
Well, she said it was pretty stressful that if you had gone somewhere, like you go to Paris and you're having croissant and camembert, and next thing you know, you're going for your weigh-in and you're like, oh, I'm 2 pounds over. Yeah. It's like you're a boxer and you don't make weight.
But with the boxer, you're out of that fight or penalized in a whole bunch of different ways, or it's just not a championship fight anymore. With a flight attendant, they give you some time. Yeah, you go away and you come back when you've lost 2 pounds. They don't lose their job.
No, but if you had too many weigh-ins, you could lose your job. Absolutely.
Yeah, I get that.
They had other guidelines too for stewardesses. They couldn't be married for a lot of airlines, and also a lot of airlines would cut them off at 32 or 33. Yep. That once you reach 32, 33 years old, that's it. That's the end of your career.
Crazy. It's hard to believe that used to happen. Yeah. But there's a lot of stuff like that you can't believe used to happen. I mean, when you watch Mad Men, you're like, I can't believe those guys smoked and drank all day long.
And patted the secretaries on the heinies, and the secretaries were called secretaries, not receptionists and personal assistants. It's administrative. I say better time. During the thing we had too many rules, and I'm against them. The ladies seem to do all right, although I'm getting this off my TV show. I'll give you one I can't believe used to happen in real life.
What's that?
Ready? Smoking sections on airplanes.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy, because it was just the guy in front of you was in the non-smoking section. There's like 4 seats for the smoking section. I thought that was crazy. Smoking sections anywhere seems crazy.
Seriously. Well, you guys listening, what is something you can't believe used to happen? Weighing in of stewardesses, smoking sections on airplanes, that stuff was real. What is something you can't believe really used to happen? Call 800-252-1025 or text us at 90627 now.
Alrighty, here's the deal. They are getting ready. We were talking about this, that they used to actually weigh stewardesses. That one's harsh for even me. So what is something that you can't believe actually used to happen? 1-800-252-1025. You can text away to 90627.
We actually have one of those stewardesses, I believe, Louise in Tukwila.
Hi, Louise.
Oh, no, I wasn't a stewardess. I was a college grad with a master's degree in literature, and I applied to the wonderful world of Disney in Orlando.
Yeah.
And they weighed me, and I was applying for a character, and they said at 15 pounds overweight, which was 135 pounds, I was only eligible to join the janitorial team.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. Wow. You couldn't be goofy because you were 15 pounds overweight.
Exactly, and nevertheless, my family and kids have never been to Disney.
Good for you.
Now, whoa. Is that because of that incident?
Yes.
Do your kids want to go to Disney?
Not after I said, let's go to Universal instead.
Actually, I think Universal is fair enough. Because I was going, just because you never skipped a sandwich doesn't mean that your kids shouldn't be able to go to Disneyland.
135 pounds, Danny.
Oh, yeah, I get that
That's
it's wrong.
not big.
I get that it's wrong. It's not big. That's actually a goal for most people.
One of our texters mentions Disney as well. They can't believe happened. They used to be able to take a family to Disney without taking out a second mortgage on their home.
My daughter wanted to go for her 3rd anniversary, and she said, "Can you pull any strings, Dad?" And I said, "No, Disney does not have strings. It's just can't do that. So how much for you two to go?" And he goes, "Well, it's 2 days." How much? $460 to go to Disneyland for 2 days.
Yeah. That's not even including food and all the rest.
They can feed themselves, little bastards.
What is something you can't believe used to happen? Let's talk to Coco in Graham.
Hey, Coco.
Good morning, beautiful people.
Morning.
So I was pretty shocked to learn that prior to 1974, a woman couldn't have her own credit card. Had to be in her husband's name.
Yep.
Is that factual information?
That is factual.
A single woman could not get a credit card in 1973.
A married woman could not get a credit card in her name without her husband's permission.
Wow, I never heard of such a thing.
Until 1974. Absolutely outrageous. Because, your husband was the head of the household, so it was up to him to decide if you were worthy.
In that case, I'm going to go with until 1920 or something like that. Women couldn't vote.
I think it was 1930.
Was it 1930? It's crazy.
It's crazy.
What about Greg calling from Redmond? What is something you can't believe used to happen?
General admission to rock concerts where you used to line up at 6 o'clock in the morning for a show at 7, party all day. And I think somebody got crushed at the Who concert, and that all came to an end.
Yeah, and somebody did get crushed at the Who concert. I remember that.
It is crazy to think people would wait outside and rush the stage. It was just a matter of time.
In the get tickets, though, I did that not that long ago, just because it seemed that one seemed faster and more likely than the computers, to be honest with you. I lived 1,000 feet away from the Greek Theater, and I literally just went up there and stood around, and I got the tickets. I felt very good about that.
Yeah, sometimes it is a better shot, and it's certainly cheaper because you pay fewer fees when you go to the box office.
What is something you can't believe used to happen? Miss America ending the swimsuit competition, which in hindsight seems archaic. Airlines used to weigh the flight attendants. Don in Tacoma, what is something you can't believe used to happen?
Segregation. I became aware of it when Rosa Parks wouldn't give up her seat to some clown, and I just didn't know what the poor lady had done wrong.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she would not give up her seat to a white lady. That's what happened. And you know what? But in a way, thank God for that, because the country was going in a very bad direction as far as I'm concerned. And it took that incident for everybody to go, what the hell is happening here? Although it didn't end that day.
Separate water fountains.
Yep.
I mean, that's just outlandish when you reflect on something like that.
I forget where the Beatles were playing for this particular story, but it was a segregated event, and the white people over there and the black people over there, and they said, we will not go on, not a chance in hell. And they said, okay, this night only, but it was still only this night. Nothing fixed anything for quite a while.
The first black woman to be nominated for and win an Academy Award was not allowed to go through the same entrance, wasn't allowed to go to the ceremony to get her Academy Award. Gone with the wind. Let's talk to Tony in Kapowsin.
Hey, Tony.
How you doing, guys?
All good. What's up?
I remember seeing a picture in a book when I was a kid of a guy tipping over an oil drum. All the effort we used to take to protect wetlands anymore. They used to dump barrels of oil over wetlands to cut down on mosquito population.
Oh, goodness.
That doesn't seem like that's a good solution at all.
I'm going to guess there might have been some repercussions to that.
But back in the day, wetlands, it's a new name. Nothing. They were called marshes and things less flattering.
A texter to 90627 points out that they can't believe we used to put lead in everything. Paint, gas, toys, everything had lead in it.
And then they were like, wait, that's not good for you.
Yeah.
Let's try this asbestos stuff instead.
Right.
How about our friend Bill in Lakewood?
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Danny.
What's up, buddy?
Just a point real quick before we go. I did a poll yesterday about the watermelon and the salt. Turns out I'm not wrong.
Oh, no, you are.
Turns out
you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're wrong.
No. No.
I'm sure his poll was very scientific.
Who did you talk to? How many people did you talk to?
His neighbor.
About 20.
And were they all named Bill and Lakewood Jr.?
I don't have a junior.
Right.
No.
So what do you got for us on this?
So I can't believe back in the day in school we used to do civil defense drills where we would get down to our desks, cover our heads in the event that a nuclear bomb had landed, because that was going to protect us.
Yeah, I'm old enough to have done that. You'd get under your desk. In my school, you put your hands behind your neck for some reason. And yeah, you would stay there and they'd do drills more often than fire drills.
Before we get a hashtag Dumb Sarah, it was 1920 that white women were allowed to vote. Men of color could vote before 1920, but women of color were not allowed to vote until 1960.
And too late, we already have 17 hashtag Dumb Sarahs.
Oh,
that'll happen.
But thanks for the correction.
What about?
And I was just guessing. You have computers. I get distracted. I'm not allowed to have a computer.
1930, 1920, I was close.
Yeah, I'm good with you.
Not being close. Todd in Bellevue, what is something you can't believe used to happen?
Well, when I was a kid and even a teenager, riding in the back of pickup trucks.
Yeah.
We do it all the time.
We've mentioned that on this show before.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was nothing to it. You'd sit in the back and you'd hang out and you'd do whatever you were going to do, but that was not a thing. Like when you passed a cop, you didn't all hide. You waved.
That's insane. Marcus in Montana, what's something you can't believe used to happen?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Actually, it was both my grandfathers told me the story. Back during World War I and I think also World War II, because they're African Americans, the only jobs they were allowed to have were cooks.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you want to get into how long African Americans have been demeaned in America, it's going to be a busy conversation. But then that brings you to the upside of things and people learning their lesson, and you go bump Tuskegee Airlines or Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they weren't really going to let those guys fly. It was a ruse so they'd stop protesting. And sure enough, all of a sudden they're up in the air and becoming legendary.
But there was a time, too, you can't believe it used to happen, that it was Tuskegee Airmen because women weren't allowed to fly or serve.
My wife shouldn't be allowed to drive. Does that count? No, I'm kidding. She's a very good driver.
Chucker Rob in Seattle, what's something you can't believe used to happen?
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning. What's up?
You know, something that I can't believe used to happen, which doesn't happen anymore, which is really sad. You know, you never hear couples, still being married for 50, 60 years anymore.
Yeah.
You know, my grandparents were married for 68 years. My wife's grandparents were married for 59 years. I mean, there was no such thing really much as a divorce. I mean, now the divorce rate, people get divorced for whatever reason. I don't like the way your hair looks, and I think because of that, it's severely, it hurts a lot of kids, man, because I think if you had parents who stayed together for that many years, you wouldn't have so many of these kids.
I don't know that that's. I'm not necessarily with you. Dr. Phil told me one time it's better for your kids to be from a broken home than to be in one.
Yeah.
And my behavior was so out of control. They should not have stayed there. So I will give you that. But as for divorce, 1973, I didn't know anybody that got a divorce. So nobody did it. Mrs. Brecky at the corner got a divorce. And none of the moms would talk to her again.
Oh, that's awful.
It is awful, but it was the time. There's something wrong at that house. Jeez. I don't want my kids there. I don't want you there. Yeah, it was a real thing. And Mrs. Brecky was kind of okay looking.
Brent in Port Townsend, what is something you can't believe used to happen?
Hey, good morning. Great show, guys.
Thanks, man.
So we had a junior high teacher who would give us swats if we were naughty.
Oh, yeah.
Like hit you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Brent, you're not that old. I've met you several times. That surprises me.
No, but he's a real troublemaker. I've hit him.
Yeah, I'd hit him.
I'd hit him.
Well, Danny, you've mentioned it in Catholic school, but it's just surprising you think of it as being something in the 50s and 60s.
At Woodland Hills Elementary School, which was not a Catholic, there's a public school in Los Angeles. It's even in my book, and they have to fact check it. I got swatted 168 times by
goodness.
Dr. Arnett.
Wow.
Yeah, record.
Paul, what is something you can't believe used to happen?
I can't believe the way people used to fight wars. Like we would all line up in formation across like an empty field from each other with our like nicest bright shiny coat on, and the little kid would play the drums, and then we would just shoot right across the empty field at each other.
Yeah.
Or a bayonet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
crazy.
I don't want to get bayoneted.
No. Tori, what is something you can't believe used to happen?
I can't believe women in China used to bind their feet.
That's crazy.
It's pretty crazy because it was beautiful, to
It
them.
wasn't. It was gross and it was painful,
disgusting.
and those women are
Tiny
hobbled.
little feet.
And here's the weird part, Tori. If you check around, it's not like it was where everybody did it, but old people, they're starting to die off. People still do it. People still bind their feet.
Awful.
Derek, what is something you can't believe used to happen?
Silent movies. Like a group of people would gather together and silently stare at a screen for 2 hours. That's insane.
Well, I hate you. First of all, a lot
remember those days,
of
Danny?
the movie theaters would have orchestras
Yeah.
in them, and they'd be up in front like you're at a play. But you're right. There was even in Los Angeles right now, there's a place called the Silent Movie Theater, and people go every Friday and Saturday night. God, they're dull. You're totally right, young man.
Thanks for your calls and your texts. Now it is time to play Name That Acronym.
Name that acronym. Oh, rolls off the tongue, man.
You can win a pair of tickets to see CCR and BOC June 29th, giving you a chance to win tickets to see them and Creedence Clearwater Revisited. This show is June 29th at the Tulalip Amphitheater. If you want to win these tickets to go to the show, you need to ID the rock acronym from Danny's Clue. All right, Rick and Edmonds is our contestant.
Good morning, Rick. Let me ask you right off the bat. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yes, I do.
Cool. Do you understand the rules of the game?
Yes, sir.
Then I think we should go. Here we go. This band was born on the bayou of San Francisco in the 1960s. They were playing in a traveling band when they performed at Woodstock and reached the peak of their success in 1969 and 1970. Here's a bit of useless knowledge that you can throw around at a cocktail party. The second word of the full band name comes from an ad campaign for Olympia Beer, but you know them best by this abbreviation. Can you name that acronym?
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
And what's the acronym?
What's the acronym?
Oh, yeah.
CCR.
There you go.
Wow, I had no idea. Congratulations.
If you got the second part of that question wrong, what's the acronym? I was going to be really worried about Rick. Okay. Congratulations. You are going to see Creedence Clearwater Revisited and Blue Oyster Cult June 29th at Tulalip Amphitheater. You can pick up your prize at the Jeep winners window in our lobby. The rest of you join us again tomorrow. That's right. We can come up with another acronym for this game at 7:20 tomorrow. And up next, the big news of the day.
And as always, it's brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE, or you can go online to goldbergjones.com.
Well, we've been talking this week about the Philadelphia Eagles and their invitation being taken away to go to the White House yesterday. But President Trump did indeed hold his event called Celebrate America. He did speak to everybody. The national anthem was performed. He stood there with his hand over his heart. And then somebody in the crowd took a knee.
Right. White dude, too.
White dude. They do not know who he is yet, but he did get down on one knee and afterwards left the event. So we were trying to find out who he is.
Was he on the White House lawn?
Yeah.
How do you get on the White House lawn without 500 people knowing exactly who you are, where you're working, what your kids' names are?
Oh, they'll know who he was. The press weren't able to identify him yet, and he didn't want to talk. When he left, a couple of different reporters tried to talk to him, and he didn't want to talk.
And some people yelled out nasty stuff, too.
Yeah, it was hard to tell who was yelling at whom because there were some boos, but it's too hard to tell from the videos. Were people booing the president or were people booing the man who took
the ends justify the means. I have always believed that to be true, and now I think that's not true. This guy being our president stuff doesn't, there are things, I believe it's a fact that unemployment is the lowest level in 50 years or something like that. Now, if you can give that to him or not, that's up for debate. But the fact is, that's the case. Stock market, through the roof, whether you can give that to him or not, but still, that is the case. And I don't care enough. That guy should not be the president of the United States. It's embarrassing.
A lot of people this morning talking about IHOP, International House of Pancakes.
Talking about it yesterday.
Well, yeah, they made a big announcement yesterday that they are going to be making a big announcement.
Oh, cool.
So the announcement is IHOP, IHOP, are changing its name to IHOB. The speculation
IHOB?
IHOB is terrible.
Yeah.
IHOB. The speculation on Twitter is that the B will stand for breakfast.
Yeah, first guess.
But the company says this is not a joke. We are changing our name. We will tell you on Monday what it is. IHOB.
So we don't know.
They're confirming the B, but they're not confirming the word breakfast?
Correct.
Well, that's stupid.
So they said it's not a joke. It's no prank.
And they serve lunch and dinner as well.
Yeah.
So why are they not IHOP?
Because
Food?
LGBT took all those initials.
What else could the B be for?
No, the big money in this room anyway is breakfast.
Yeah, it's definitely breakfast.
Could be Butthead, but I don't think so.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
International House of Buffet, What else could the bee be for if not breakfast?
No, we all agree that it's breakfast. And I really was talking about this when I was coming home from the movies on 99, and there's a place that was called always the original House of Pancakes, and it's gone. I didn't know House of Pancakes ever closed. It's like nobody closes it. It's like 7-Eleven. They're there forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one's gone.
Seen around here is in First Hill.
That's one I go to, I think.
And I thought I drove by it just the other day and it was still there, but now I'm not positive. IHOB, and we'll find out Monday.
It's just it's a stupid acronym.
Yeah.
If you change it to IHOB, I mean nobody literally hopped to go in there, but IHOP was just it had a good ring to it.
Good.
Yeah.
Or is that just because we're used to it? Like 20 years ago before they did it or whatever, when they said, no, we're going to change the name to IHOP, did everybody go, no, that's stupid. Nobody's hopping.
Oh, maybe they're going to become a brewery and it'll be International House of Beer.
Oh, yeah. No, probably not.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
stupid.
I know. Bacon.
Yeah, these are all stupid.
International House of Bacon.
Nah, I could get on board with International House of Bacon.
You and Mike from Sultan will be the new presidents of IHOB. Well, we were talking a little while ago about the airline industry and how far it's come. Back in the day, they would weigh in what were called stewardesses. They are now flight attendants. They can be of either gender. They can be married, and they don't have to weigh 122 pounds.
I never heard of a female pilot until I was probably 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did take a while for...
I mean, there was Amelia Earhart, but she did not count. When she counted, for God's sakes.
It did take a while for the industry, for the military to embrace women as pilots or other facets of the airline industry. And we've come a long way, unless you are Qatar Airways, where it's International Air Transportation Association Chief and Chief Executive, Qatar Airways. Okay, so the bigwig up at the top of this airline. Akbar Al-Baker
Oh, I know
said,
that guy. He's a baker.
He's the baker.
Yeah, he's the baker.
Akbar Al-Baker.
He said that, can this job be done by anyone? He's the new guy at the job. Of course it has to be led by a man because running an airways is a very challenging position.
Yeah, you can't be all emotional.
No, right.
This was being held at the nation's annual meeting, and he says this. Well, to run an airline, you have to be a man. It's a very challenging position. And there are audible gasps, and people in the audience are horrified.
You know what? If I was going to start a band, I would call it Audible Gasps. But back to you.
It's a great name.
It is a great name, isn't it?
He then clamored to clarify his remarks. He said Qatar Airways was the first carrier in the Middle East to have female pilots. The company does have women in senior roles. He tried to backtrack. The last time he had to apologize, he said U.S. flight attendants are grandmothers, and those were also viewed as sexist and ageist.
But if you take out all the other things, yeah, we have grandmas and proud of it, right? We used to weigh them in. They used to be 22 years old. Now you're grandma, you got seniority, you're not going anywhere.
But saying that you can't run an airline unless you're a man.
Stu, I feel bad because I was going to learn to play the guitar, and now I'm not. Sorry.
The Bonnaroo Music Festival. This one's been going on for quite a while. It takes place in Tennessee. And as the same with many of the multi-day event festivals, people get a little dirty. People get a little drunk or high, and people get dirty. So much so that Bonnaroo announced Launderoo. There's going to be an area with 25 washers and dryers so people can get their clothes clean.
And how long does this last?
3 days.
No.
No.
Do you need to go to a weird place to launder your clothes in public with other people because you've had something on for a couple of days?
I don't.
I've been wearing this outfit for a week and a half. You guys haven't noticed.
Right.
They're also going to have vintage items that you can exchange clothes for. And then the clothes, if your clothes are dirty and you just want to get a clean shirt, they'll give you the shirt. You can trade it in, and then that will go to charity.
All right.
The clothing you donated.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think the people are just too dirty after a couple of days. No, that's kind of the point, man.
If it gets really bad, just buy the shirt from your favorite band.
Yeah. That's kind of what we did when we went to the Upstream Music Festival. Amy was colder than she thought she would be, and exactly as cold as I told her she would be, but she doesn't listen. And then we just ended up buying a hoodie from some band. And life is good.
Floyd Mayweather is pretty successful boxer.
Yeah.
Fairly successful.
Fairly.
So much so that he has been named the highest paid athlete in the world.
Yeah.
Forbes magazine does this list every year, and for the fourth time, he is at top of the list.
And he only fought once last year.
Well, this takes into consideration salary, endorsements. So
he doesn't get to do endorsements because he hits chicks and goes to jail. You can't do that.
Here's what's pretty shocking, though. He's at number one by so much more than everybody else. Do you want to take a guess as to...
You going to tell me his first number?
No. I want you to take a guess at Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, how much he made last year or just career? Last year, $211 million.
You're so close.
Oh, really? I would have said $100 million. $200 million.
Off by hundreds of millions.
Last year for one fight?
One fight.
$285 million.
Jesus.
Yeah.
At number two,
and he's a bad person. In my fantasies about being the heavyweight champion of the world, and some of my acceptance speeches of belts and stuff, I say, kids, stay in school because it's hard for a boxer to get endorsements because you punch people.
Yeah.
By the way, this is all real and how I think.
Lionel Messi, the soccer player.
Yeah.
111. So that's the difference.
Well, maybe he shouldn't be so messy.
285 to 111. Handsome Cristiano Ronaldo, also a soccer player, 108. Conor McGregor, fourth place, 99.
And that's all of them fighting Mayweather.
Yep. Neymar, another soccer player, 90 million. Finally, we get somebody who is an American playing an American sport. Well, Floyd is an
American, but he's not a great example of it.
Right.
LeBron at number 6 with 85.5 million.
I like me some LeBron these days. But how do you go from 80 million to a billionaire? And especially years back, what's his face? I want to be like Michael Jordan. Is a billionaire. You don't make that jump from 88 million. What's going on with LeBron? Who's his agent?
LeBron's older, but this is just a year.
Right, but still, if that's all you've got is his shoes should do better than that, things like that. I'm surprised. I'm just surprised that's a low number.
Steph Curry is on the list. He's at number 8 behind Roger Federer. So LeBron was 85.5, Steph Curry 76.9. Matt Ryan, the quarterback, 67, followed by Matthew Stafford at 59. Holy moly, these folks are making a lot of leaps.
Yeah, they are. But here's the thing on that, because it used to bother me, especially in team sports, but they are one of a kind.
Yep.
There's nobody, I don't like Mayweather more than anybody else except as a fighter, but there's nobody like him. He's been touched by lightning or something.
That's the big news of the day. It's brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men. Find them at 1-800-DIVORCE or online at goldbergjones.com.
Yeah, you guessed it. There's more coming up next. It's Jelly Bean's Joke of the Week.
Joke of the Week.
Hey, Uncle Danny.
Hey.
Is it joke time now?
Always.
Okay, can a kangaroo jump higher than a house?
All right, hang on here. No, I don't know.
Of course it can. Houses don't jump at all. Man, I got you on that one.
You did. I was really thinking it out. Very nice, very nice. Very excited about the iHeartRadio Music Festival giveaway. That's happening this hour, ladies and gentlemen. So they got this new festival going on September 21st and 22nd. I tried to remember just some of the acts that were going to be there so I could tell Amy.
Yeah.
I could remember less than a third. It's, no matter what kind of music you like, your favorite acts are going to be there. And later this hour, you're going to have a chance to win your way into the show along with airfare accommodations for 2. Just listen for the keyword and then text it to 200-200 and you could be headed to Vegas for the iHeartRadio Music Festival.
So 6 months ago, we here at KZOK moved studios.
Yeah.
We went from one side of the city to the other, and still kind of getting used to our new digs. We had to, if we wanted to use the microwave, we had to go all the way on the other side of the building.
Yeah.
Until this morning, when we got here, and there was a brand spanking new microwave.
There was not.
It doesn't look all that new.
That thing was the Edsel of microwave. You had to hand crank it to make it go.
Well, I just tried to use it and could not, for the life of me, figure out how to use that microwave.
Right.
Now, do you think it's because it's so old? that I couldn't figure out. I seriously could not figure out how to use that microwave.
I think it is because it's so old. It looked old to me. I mean, I don't know when it was built, but it looks old.
Well, there's just a couple things that sometimes you can't really grasp. Like for some reason, I cannot figure out Roman numerals. So now it's microwaves and Roman numerals.
See, I would have said, well, here's how it works. Well, if you have 2 or 3, you put them to the right, and if you have 4, you put it to the left. That's subtracting. I had a good handle on it, and then all of a sudden we went to Super Bowl L. And I don't know how to do this at all, so I understand completely.
Imagine if they had Roman numerals on the microwave.
Oh,
you would be
forget it.
completely
Yeah, you
lost.
would.
Yeah,
You'd have to eat a frozen Hot Pocket every day.
Yep.
So you want that for 1 V minutes?
Yeah.
And that'd be 4 minutes. I got it.
V is 5.
And 1 to the left
means
is a subtracting.
minus.
Right.
So then it's 7 minutes. Told you,
No.
I'm inept
Yeah,
at
okay.
Roman numerals. But, you know, you poke fun at yourself, Danny, saying that you are pretty inept when it comes to social media.
Yeah, I'm not. Aside from Twitter, and I mostly get Amy to help me out. Oh, I got an idea for Twitter. Would you tweet this for me?
Mm-hmm.
But the one that makes me, if the goal is to say, hey, I'm ridiculous because I have no concept how to check my mail.
How to check? Oh, your email.
Oh, email.
No, either one.
Your paper
Your
mail?
mail?
My paper mail comes with a key. I apparently don't possess that.
Oh.
So I can't check my real mail. And then I have to go AOLmail.com and then get that on and then sign. I'm not doing it. Amy's doing it. I can't do it.
You got to click the little thing to connect, and then it's like...
Exactamente.
Well, you guys listening, what is something you are inept at? Danny is inept at mail. I can't figure out Roman numerals or apparently microwaves anymore. What is something you are inept at? Share. Call us 800-252-1025 or text your answer to 90627.
Yeah, you know, the world is changing. I am not on Facebook, and I don't know how to get on Facebook if I cared to get on Facebook. And Sarah, well, you're not a Roman. You don't have to understand Roman numerals, but she can't do it. What is something you are inept at? Here is our phone number, 1-800-252-1025, or I love it when you text. That is 90627.
We'll start with Karen in Linwood.
Hey, Karen.
Hey.
Hey.
So I am an administrative assistant, and I have to book travel for my managers, and I can never figure out what the time zone is in China or Taiwan or Israel. It completely baffles me.
All right, I'm going to give you one hit because that is difficult, but I'll give you one clue. I think the time zone in China, like Beijing, is pretty much the same as Taiwan.
It might not be.
Might not be?
Might be
Yeah,
off
no,
by
you
an
don't
hour.
have a problem at all, Karen, and you're actually the smartest one in the room.
It's amazing how many times I Google, what time is it in blank? And because it's all different time zones because it's so big. China is so big
China's
that it
very
could be
big.
very different.
And do you need to know that a lot, what time it is in a particular part of China?
I do.
I need to know China's net worth all the time.
Yeah.
Farmer Ted, tell us what is something you are inept at?
Good morning. How you guys doing today?
Morning. We're very well. Thank you. What do you got for us?
Well, if my wife, and I love her, have been together for 30 years, if she were to pass, I would be so out of luck as far as finances go.
I was positive you were going to be. I would be so happy. No, I just thought that's where he was taking us. No, I'm with you completely. My wife handles everything. You know, I am really inept. So if she ever left me for any reason, and I hope she does not, I am with Farmer Ted. I'd be screwed.
The majority of American households, the finances are handled by the women. So you guys are not alone. That if the wife left, you would be inept at handling your own finances.
All the good stuff in my marriage is handled by the woman.
That's pretty much the only reason holidays are around anymore is to write checks, because I don't know how to write a check.
Mark and Puyallup, admit it. What is something you are inept at?
Oh, gosh. You know, I'll admit, I'm not a tech guy. I've never been a tech guy. You know, when I was growing up, the only way to talk to your girlfriend in private was to drag a 50-foot extension cord into the bathroom.
Totally true. I remember, man. That's true.
Yeah. So our McDonald's closed, and I met a few buddies there on Tuesday mornings for cheap, good coffee, and they closed for remodel. Well, they open up, and I don't even really gather my thoughts. There's only 2 cash registers now until 2 weeks later. They got 4 standing kiosks where you stand there and order. It's awful. I wanted a coffee with 3 creams. Staff had to come help me do it.
Have you had coffee yet?
He's right, though. The McDonald's are switching over to self-serve kiosks. They're getting rid of cashiers.
But I mean, it's a touch screen, and they show a picture of a coffee, and you press.
Just because you could fix the microwave doesn't mean you have to belittle my friend Mark.
Yeah, Paul.
That's right. You guys are the ones petrified to order a sub sandwich.
Well, they ask too many questions.
Yes, but they're questions like, "Do you like lettuce? Would you like some tomato?"
It's never like that. It's, do you want tomato? Do you want onion? Do you want this? Do you want pickles? Do you want that?
And by the way, the tomatoes also depends on what kind of bread and what kind of meat, because maybe I don't want tomatoes. Oh, my God, it's totally different. Shut up.
Lenny in Tacoma.
Hey, Lenny, where the hell have you been?
Oh, I've been trying to stay out of trouble. How about you guys? How have you been?
Just about the same, man. What do you got, Lenny?
I, for the life of me, don't have a clue what is going on in a soccer game other than the ball going in the net. For me, it's just a bunch of guys running around. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Well, I'll tell you what they're doing. They're being guys, 70% of them countries I never even heard of in my whole life. I don't even believe they exist. And they run around for a whole game without a break except for halftime, right?
Yeah, right.
That's craziness. Stop doing that. I'm against soccer.
Have you ever tried to watch a cricket match? Good luck figuring that out.
But we had a very sticky wicket. I know that.
Yeah, I would be inept at playing and watching cricket. Good to hear from you, Lenny. Brian and Fife, what is something you can admit you are inept at?
Driving in Tacoma traffic.
Really?
It's horrible.
It is
horrible. Yes, it's very bad.
Brian is inept at talking.
In a world where traffic is bad in Tacoma.
In Tacoma.
Sunday is the only day we don't have bad traffic in Tacoma.
All right. Thank you for calling, Brian.
For your call.
Thanks, Brian.
Something you're inept at.
I kind of feel like an ass. That was Brian. He was very nice to us. Yeah,
Something
sorry,
we're
Brian.
inept
We
at
love you.
Being nice to people.
Yeah.
Good morning, Rob in Louisville.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Well, I'm sure this is probably pretty common with most husbands, but I swear I could never figure out what my wife's thinking.
No, I know exactly what you mean. What I do is I like to rub her shoulders, give her a little kiss, and then ask her. And then your wife still doesn't know what she's thinking. It's weird.
We have some great texts into 90627. One of our listeners is inept at driving a stick shift, which means they can't drive their own 68 Chevelle.
Oh, that's crazy. And by the way, sell it to me. A 68 Chevelle with a stick shift, that's an awesome car.
Andrew in Kent is inept at figuring out women, and another texter says computers. They have to get their 9-year-old granddaughter to teach them how to log onto their own computer.
How about Randy in Newcastle? Something you're inept at?
Hey, Randy.
Hi, you guys. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for asking. What do you got?
Well, I can pretty much do anything with the instructions, but I'll tell you what, without instructions and having it sit there and go dead on me, I can't figure out for the life of me how to do a digital clock.
Well, I'll tell you one person you can call, and I just learned about this recently. You could call a whoreologist. Swear to God.
Somebody who studies hookers?
Nope. I thought that too when I heard it, but it's a guy who is into clocks, a whoreologist.
Jeez. The problem with the digital ones, it's if you take your finger off, then it goes back to zero. You have to hold something down.
I don't know which is worse. That if I could say with all honesty, there was a time until recently, everything in my house blinked 12 o'clock. Oh, and but that's the way it should go in a guy's house. They're all perfectly set now because of my wife. My wife knew how to. She's the Paul of our house.
What is something you're inept at? Doug on Mount Lake Terrace.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Oh, Dad, you're funny.
Thank you. Couldn't agree more.
Oh, God. I love your show, man. For 30 years, this has been number one for me. Anyway,
Gosh, we've been doing this longer than I thought.
I had no idea that we've been on here for 30 years.
We're old.
Hey, we're good.
I love you, Doug.
It used to be, back in the day, you used to go to the library and, look up a book on the library card, the card catalog thing.
The Dewey Decimal System. What, dear?
It's all computer. You can't get I can't find a book now because it's all, computerized now.
Here's the difference, Doug. You can't use the Dewey Decimal System anymore. Those days are gone. But you can look at porn. And I figure that's a fair trade-off, really.
Believe it or not, when you go to the library, they are alphabetized. Imagine that. You can go to check out your book. It's alphabetical order.
Oh, really? So if I want a book that's written by some guy named Baker, I just go to B.
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't think you do. I think you're wrong.
You could go to fiction or nonfiction and then go to Baker.
Yeah,
but there's big signs
So
about
now I got to do 20 different things.
or two.
Or you go to the library, spl.org, and then you put it on hold. You go pick it up, and it's sitting there waiting for you.
Yeah, I have the app on my phone, and I just push the button, and then they go, hey, your book's ready. Come get it.
Yep, Mr. Baker.
And then do you?
Yeah, of course I do.
Go get it?
Yeah.
Is it different out there and wherever the hell you live?
It's in the woods, but... George in Tacoma says he's broken the internet twice. If your internet doesn't work, it's probably his fault.
Man, what an ass.
And another texter said, of course, Sarah can't figure out the microwave. In Maine, the servants operate the microwaves. Hashtag dumb Sarah.
Joe in Lake Stevens says he can't. He is inept at health insurance. Sharon in Linwood says she doesn't have cable because she can't figure that out. Hot Bidet from Guam, guys. Cannot cook because he can't figure out recipes. Tori, what is something you are inept at?
I don't know how to find north. I don't know how to use a compass. I'm just directionally challenged.
Well, that's weird. The one I was going to say, if you said to me next, I would have said maps. I can't do maps.
Me neither. Those either. Yeah.
And Derek, what is something you are inept at?
Driving a stick shift without stalling. I can get the car running and moving, but at some point I'm going to stall and it's just going to die.
Well, I would say in Derek's defense, and you need some, that these hills around here, you're driving a stick shift, that's a thing. If you have to come to a stop at the top of one of these big hills around here and not fall back into the car behind you, that's a thing, man.
Well, and you know why Derek needs to have this skill?
No, why?
It's for all the cars he steals. He drives a Prius.
Why does that mean he steals cars?
Well, because why else would he be driving a stick shift? It's when he goes out and steals other people's cars.
Stop stealing cars.
Stop doing
and
that.
I'm a great DD.
Dungeons and Dragons?
Designated driver.
Oh.
And
You're not a great DD. I would never trust Derek to drive me home from the bar.
I'm a great DD.
Yeah.
Y'all are talking about bra sizes now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, thanks for your calls and texts. We do have the news coming for you next. A massive explosion, and detectives have called in the ATF to help out with this investigation.
The ATF?
Yeah.
That's quite the acronym.
Alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. I don't know why they're not the ATFE.
I think they are now, the ATFE.
Yeah, they're
I don't like
still calling it the ATF for some reason.
Yeah, that's the one that scares me. You don't want to come home and find the ATF is interested in talking to you. That's a bad thing.
Well, this guy did a bad thing, so I'm glad they're investigating.
Well, I don't know I'm confused still what he did.
He's arrested for malicious explosion of a substance. So that leads me to believe they believe it was intentional.
I'd like to know what the hell it was, because that was powerful. I was going to say that could have done some damage. That did some damage.
It did, yeah.
Just it could have done more damage to life and limb.
The man police say murdered his ex-boss with a hatchet at a gym in Tennessee has been arrested after 24 hours on the run. Dominic Michelli, he's the man who went to the gym, walked into the facility, stabbed his former supervisor with a hatchet, did not survive.
I don't think that's what happened.
He didn't stab him. He hacked him?
Yeah. So I think it's a different thing by a lot. He went like this, not like that.
I mean, I guess if he did do that, it would
the guy'd still
less
be alive.
damage.
Yeah,
if he stabbed him, we would hope that he.
By the way, I'm very afraid. If you're talking about things I'm afraid of, axe murderers.
Yeah,
because it just takes a lot.
A hatchet, I think, worse than an axe.
Yeah, because it's small. Shoot a guy from across the street while he was bugging me.
Yeah.
Walk into a public place and kill a guy with an axe. You're a frightening person.
Yeah, that takes dedication.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to figure out what was up with this dude because he was arrested less than 2 months ago trying to gain access to the White House. He was let go at his job, went back over with a hatchet, killed his former boss, was on the run, thankfully is now in custody. Conservative billionaire David Koch is...
of the Koch brothers fame.
Yes, he is stepping down from his role.
What is he now, Koch Light?
He's ill. They did not go into detail about what is wrong with him. He is 78 years old. He is leaving the board. He is leaving the company. He is leaving his political groups to focus on his health. And he made this announcement yesterday.
All right. Well, I'm sorry about that, although I never had any dealings with the guy. But, you know, with the famed weird Koch brothers doing stuff, they've just always kind of been there.
Well, his brother's 82. He remains at the helm. They are worth $60 billion each.
God, I remember when that was a lot of money. $60 billion each. Wow, that's crazy.
Huge.
So if they're getting along real well and wearing one big giant pair of pants, they're richer than Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Hogg, the recent graduate of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, prominent activist against gun violence, was swatted yesterday. Now, this is one of the survivors of the school shooting in Florida.
Right.
He's the one of the two that you see all over the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that it's a kid, right?
Yeah, he's a kid.
Yeah. And swatting is a thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I don't know what it is. So you have to explain it to me.
Well, in this instance, what happened is somebody calls the police and says something is happening.
And that generally that there's a gun involved or some sort of weapon.
Right, because they want you to run. They even say shots fired.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember this.
Now, that what typically happens, the reason it's called swatting, is the SWAT team arrives.
Right.
And they determine that this was a hoax. There was nobody at the home at the time. And they're trying to, of course, find out who did this because it can be very dangerous.
Which they will. They'll find out who did it.
I hope so.
You know, when we talk about things are a different time, they're not as personal, blah, blah, blah. They are a different time. And you can't crank call anybody anymore. Remember that guy who was actually calling from Tel Aviv to say something was happening in New Jersey, and they found him within 2 days. So that guy's caught, I think.
Certainly hope so. We do live at a different time where people constantly are taking selfies, constantly taking video, and not always with another person's permission. A Canadian woman was in Italy, was hit by a train and badly injured. Rescue services arrived, went to her aid on the track. So there she is in bad shape. She's on the track. And now pictures have surfaced of a young man taking a selfie of himself, obviously making it a selfie, but with her in the background. So he's taking a picture of her body, the rescue workers, the carnage on the train tracks, and himself with a smile.
So he's not like down there next to her. He's a ways away. If he's getting all that in the background.
A few feet away.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and as I say, as much as I don't like it's tasteless, but I don't see it's illegal. I don't even see it's blatantly immoral unless you were going to rush over there and give her mouth to mouth.
And I'm guessing he's one of maybe 10 people who are either photographing or videoing the scene. He just happened to put himself in it.
This woman was in really bad shape, had to have her leg amputated, and the people who were at the scene berated him and said, take that down. And you guys are right. It doesn't seem to be a breaking of a law, but they did say, take that down, and he did.
Well, if he was a jerk, because I've known some jerks in my day, he could say no and get away with it.
Sure.
You know, if you're doing something like they don't say and no carnage on Facebook or whatever, and then you do, you have to take it down. But if you find a platform that will air it, he can air it. I think he's a pig. Now, I think we should all kick him in the nards because he's a pig and I hate him. Okay. But I think he was kind of within his rights.
He's not going to make a lot of friends, but if that weren't in selfie mode, if he wasn't in the picture, he's a journalist. I mean, that's everything now is, you know, who can get the pictures or the video or whatever.
And remember the number one rule of journalism, if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah.
A great white shark chomped down on a man's surfboard and left behind one of his teeth.
Awesome.
Pictures have been circulating on social media that shows this man. He was actually kiteboarding, but he thought it was a turtle. Looks down. Oh my gosh, Becky, that was a great white.
Turtles don't normally have that big of teeth.
Where'd he go to kindergarten? Because that's why I learned what a turtle is.
Yeah.
They did confirm the tooth came from a great white shark. He just, because he was kite surfing, kiteboarding, you're not on the water for as long. So he's like, oh, it must be a turtle. And then gets back to shore and realizes he could have died.
Yeah, he most certainly could have. You know, I normally find people that have shark tooth necklaces around their neck to be kind of lame. Yeah. But if I have a tooth from the shark that tried to kill me, I'm having it, you know, bronzed.
How long did it take him to confirm that that was not a turtle tooth? Like, what kind of test goes into that?
Obituaries these days have gotten kind of cute in a way. Like the guy who wrote the obituary and said about the Cleveland Browns, it was, you know,
yeah, I remember.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but like he died of sorrow from the Cleveland Browns season.
Heartbroken. Because that was they went completely winless.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't care for these guys. I put the bitch in obituary. I'm not a fan.
And some people write their own now.
Yeah.
Lots of people, yeah.
Well, there's one obituary that is not cheeky, it's chilly. Kathleen Demlow's obituary. 6-sentence piece that ran this week in the Minnesota Redwood Falls Gazette. It begins the customary way, providing the 80-year-old's date and place of birth, her marriage, the birth of her children. But the line that has everybody talking is, and I quote, "She abandoned her children, Gina and Jay, who were then raised by her parents in Clements, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Shunk. She passed away on May 31st in Springfield and will now face judgment. She will not be missed, and this world is a better place without her."
Oh.
Fine.
They didn't like it very much.
No, some people, yeah, fine. And maybe even not harsh enough.
Yeah.
You have to, your mom's somewhere around, so you know that she abandoned you, and you want to get a little revenge. Because who's going to care about that? Do you think she's going to go up to heaven and God's going to go, "Oh, no, I read your obituary. You're a terrible person. You are not welcome here." So if that helped them heal or whatever most people seem to be important that they do these days, fine.
I don't know. It seems very, very disrespectful.
Thankfully, my wife will still be young when I die because my children would say terrible things about me.
But Danny's right. For somebody to upset you that much after their death, like you still to be that upset with them, they had to have been a pretty terrible person.
Yeah. So, Paul, yours is going to be a good one or a bad one? We know what Danny's is going to be.
Do I get to write my own?
You can just keep it on file and leave it in your will that is supposed to be what they print. And yes, you can.
And we could just do another one, telling the truth.
Wear T-shirts, Paul sucked. Yeah. Wear them to the funeral.
You guys aren't invited to my funeral.
Cool, because we're not coming.
A woman went into a Wendy's restaurant, was handed her order, took a look in the bag, and did not like what she saw. So much so that she took the burger out and threw it at the woman working the cash register. She then began to yell and swear and got so worked up, she started beating her with her fists.
Beating who?
The cashier. Two women. These are both women.
Well, you certainly can't do that. But what was wrong with the burger? Because I don't know whose side I'm on. I mean, you can't punch a cashier.
Right, but
let's find out why.
That.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's investigate.
They did something wrong with her burger. All we know is they got the order wrong. And she did not like how the situation was handled. Like, well, wait a second, we'll make you another one. She then started chest bumping other customers in Wendy's.
So they were on her side. Right?
No.
They're giving her high fives.
You're thinking fist pumping.
Yeah, no, chest bumping. Like, yeah.
No.
Like,
do that again.
Celebratory chest bumping.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Especially if it's a lady doing it.
No. She's rough and violent. She's trying to knock people down and back, right?
Tori and I, that's how we celebrate all the time.
It's totally a thing. Celebratory chest bumps.
Yeah. So, in that event, Tori just loses.
She puts up a better fight than you think, Dan.
Really? I mean, like, if we want to solve the debate, I guess we got to see it.
Exactly. And I think those sweaters get in the way.
Oh, yeah. KZOK.com, right after the show. Tori and I will post our celebratory chest bumps.
All right.
Sounds really wrong when I say it.
And if you miss any of the show, and you don't want to miss that part, but we put the full video up on our YouTube channel afterwards as well. So.
Nice.
We'll definitely highlight that part.
Cool.
For the second time in 3 days, an elk has attacked someone in Yellowstone National Park.
I'll fight an elk right now.
Don't think you will.
I don't think so.
You don't?
No, I don't think the elk's going to beat you up
punch you right in the nose.
As
Derek,
bad
get
as
the
the
stats.
moose. The moose is going to kill you. It's straight murder you.
I don't think they're slow and stupid.
The elk? No.
No, the moose.
No, the moose is so big, it's just going to kill you.
No, because you've seen...
You could run away from a moose. I get that.
You've seen a moose kill a guy.
Yeah.
I've seen 100 guys kill other guys. It's not an event that things can kill a guy.
It's not
An
often.
average male elk weighs between 700 to 730 pounds.
Well, that may be a huge problem for my scenario.
He wants a below average elk.
Yeah, exactly.
Particularly a baby elk.
I want to help
Below
that failed a
average.
couple of classes, too.
Right.
Not that bright.
Well, this is similar to what can happen with moose. Is the females are very, very
horny,
territorial, and if there is a young elk nearby, same thing with bears. The mama bear, you don't poke a mama bear.
No, I like them. I joined their club.
They
Elks Club.
say they aggressively defend their young.
Poking a mama bear's club?
No, see, you don't pay attention.
The Elks Club.
Yeah, I got it now.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. A woman has been charged with drunk driving for what happened on her ride home from a bar. Turns out cops were called to the scene and said this lady is wasted. She's just shown up at the bottle shop and she's trying to go through the drive-thru and she's clearly drunk. So police arrive at the scene and there she is, riding her horse through the drive-thru and was completely wasted. The horse was not drunk.
The horse was sober?
I thought it was a way better story.
Then she's okay, right? If the horse is sober,
No,
he knows how to get home.
Nope.
It's not a horse. You can't ride your bison. You can't ride your lawnmower.
I
If
wouldn't
you're-
ride my bison.
It's fun to ride a bison. But if you're on the street and you're drunk, you're still in charge.
Riding a horse, drinking a bottle of wine. They said blow into this, 0.226.
Seriously drunk.
Wow.
Seriously drunk. But you know what? I'm with Paul in the sense that, no, it's definitely illegal, but I don't know that it should be. I think I've said this before. When I rode horses often, the one thing, because they're stupid animals, the one thing my horse always knew was the way home.
Yeah.
If I'm fighting with him to get him on the barn and what's going to go in as a drag, and then I go, hey, man, take me home, running full speed to the barn.
That sounds safe.
All of it was fun.
Fire crews had to help a motorist who did not obey the new traffic signs. Now, especially here in Seattle, we see a lot of traffic signs, like the construction, the street closures. You know, they're doing some sort of road work.
Pioneer Square is out of control.
Yeah.
You just can't get anywhere down
South
there.
Lake Union's still out of control. There's so much construction down the waterfront. Well, you typically have to just take it slow and try to obey all of those new cones and traffic signs. Well, that didn't work out so hot for one person who went past the flag people. They went through the barricades and nose-dived into a rectangular hole in the road. There are photos that show this car completely on its nose.
Wow.
So it was just the perfect shaped rectangle. The car did not pay attention. The driver did not pay attention. They had to cut open the back window to hoist the person out.
But now he has to live in shame the rest of his life.
Yes. And that's what it says on the ticket.
Shame. Must live, that's the punishment. Yeah.
Shame for the rest
Blow
of
into
the
this. Oh, you blew shameful.
For some reason, I almost drove into the new tunnel. They replaced the viaduct. I mean, it didn't yet, but I was driving up to the beginning of the viaduct, and I just saw the tunnel there. There's only a few cones. I could make it over there. And I thought, I wonder how far, there's traffic's building up a little bit.
Yeah.
I wonder how far I could get. I'm guessing not
Well, I don't know
far.
how far you could get, but it's a done tunnel. It exists as a tunnel, all
But
2
you will
miles.
live with shame.
I would
not
have
if he
to.
made it through. He's my hero.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And a Texas woman has shared a video of her Amazon driver. She loves her Amazon driver. He is a very nice delivery person, and she got a special doormat and puts the doormat out in case she's not home and the packages are going to get left behind. It says, please hide all packages from my husband. So the Amazon driver gets up to the door, sees the doormat saying, please hide packages from my husband. So he did.
Good for him.
Hid them in the bushes.
Oh, not under the mat. I like that when you see them. There's clearly a box underneath the mat.
Well, unfortunately, unbeknownst to her, her husband had a doorbell app on his phone and saw the whole thing. But she is praising her Amazon driver for plays.
You know what I think? When I think of a strong marriage that's going to survive, I think this one.
Yeah, hiding your purchases and hiding the fact that you have security cameras.
Because what is that thing? Somebody said to me, they were joking, I believe, but they said, hey, I'm following your steps on friend.com or something like that. You guys know that?
No.
Well, you can spy on a guy. You can add them to friend.com or whatever it is. I'm probably saying it wrong because it's got technology involved with it. But it's a thing that will then at that point let you know where that phone goes all the time.
Wow.
Creepy. A 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO has just sold for a record number.
Yeah.
$70 million.
Oh, I'd have been off by a ton.
Officially making it the most expensive car ever sold. Ever. 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO. Almost twice for the last record, which was a 62 Ferrari 250 GTO.
It's a lot of money for a used car.
A lot of money, exactly.
It's a lot of money for an unused
It's got to be
car.
going to a museum or a collection. No normal, real person's buying that car at that price.
It is a person, Danny. David McNeil, the CEO of WeatherTech.
No, I'm pretty sure that's not a person.
David McNeil's not a person?
No, he's the CEO of WeatherTech.
No, I'm saying that's where he gets his money from.
Is he a billionaire?
I'm guessing.
I hate him.
Net worth of David Alexa, what is the net worth of David McNeil?
At least 400 million, but that's all I can find.
Not enough.
That's not enough for a $70
I
million
really don't.
card.
I don't think so. Because you can't even drive it on the street. You can't go get groceries in it.
And you're right that he might be using it in business because WeatherTech makes the custom fit floor mats.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
See?
So they might display it or use it in a marketing campaign.
Well, nobody's going to drive it. Right? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, he bought it and it's a write-off.
I'll buy that guy Chevelle that called up earlier.
We are going to take a very quick break, but when we come back, more drama for Courtney Love involving her now ex-son-in-law. This is a crazy story. You could own a piece of Whitney Houston memorabilia.
Ew.
No, not a piece of her.
Yeah, like her liver.
Oprah Winfrey really wants you to read something. I will tell you what, and all the latest awesome news about the Mariners next in sports. Starting with music news, Courtney Love back in the press.
Wow.
Back in the news for all the wrong reasons.
And she's no kid anymore, right?
No, she's not, but it's not her fault. Seemingly, on the surface, this is not her fault.
All right.
As in, sometimes when we report on Courtney Love being in the news, it's because she has gone out and done something crazy, and there's pictures like, oh, geez, why'd she say that, or why'd she do this? This is once again having to do with her now ex-son-in-law, Isaiah Silva.
And didn't she hire some guys to beat him up or something?
That's the allegation
Steal
against
the guitar back?
her. Now, this guy...
I would love that. But much like there's no hitman, because there's some people in the world that are bugging me right now, and I'm not kidding around.
Yeah.
I won't say who, because if they happen to get their ass kicked, I don't want that to come back to me. But
Adam's
if I thought,
sitting right here,
if
man.
I thought you could go have a guy beat up, maybe break a leg, I don't know, that sounds harsh, but punch in the face and call it a couple of names.
Yeah.
And leave a clue that it's me without saying that it's me.
Right.
That would make me happy.
If you could completely get away with it.
Right, but there's no, and that's what I'm talking about. But if it's like there's no hitman. There's no way I go find a guy to punch my enemy in the face, rough him up, say, that wasn't from Danny K. or whatever. It would be Danny DeVito. Whatever it is, they turn you in. There's no real, they don't exist.
As soon as that person gets caught,
They're going to turn
flip
you
on
out.
you, yeah.
Right.
Courtney Love is allegedly behind a scheme to get the guitar that Kurt Cobain played back from her now ex-son-in-law. So this Isaiah dude was married to Frances Bean.
For how long?
Their divorce was finalized a few weeks ago, and she said, I'm tired of this argument. You take the stupid guitar, and I'm walking away from this marriage, and shut up and leave me alone.
Right.
So Isaiah is suing Courtney Love, alleging that she hired a bunch of people to rough him up to get the guitar back. Well, now his baby mama is suing Courtney Love, saying that she was there when all of this happened and she's afraid for her life, and that somebody allegedly said to her, your kid's going to be in an orphanage soon. And so she is accusing her of stalking and emotional distress.
Do you know how much of it is true?
My guess is none.
No, but she didn't hire those guys to rough anybody up?
She allegedly hired manager Sam Lefty, who was Britney Spears' right-hand man for a while. And
is that who you go to? Is Britney Spears' manager?
Didn't he had legal trouble? Didn't he attack Britney Spears or something
there
weird
was
like that?
Something weird that went on, and I think that just disappeared. But that she got him to go to his house, Isaiah's house, and threaten him and rough him up. I mean, if you were this guy, wouldn't you hire someone else to do it? It just seems all...
Yeah, I totally would. Because I've thought of this. I'm not kidding around. I have an enemy in the world that I hate. He's a jerk. I would love bad things to happen to him. And the only reason bad things don't happen to him is it's a different time.
I'm dying to know who this is.
Yeah, I'll tell you off the air. And I would tell you guys out there, but I'm not done completely thinking I'm going to have this guy punched in the face and called some names. So I just don't want to get back to you.
Okay.
And it's a real thing. It's not like petty. This guy's costing me money. I said too much.
Okay.
Wow.
When Whitney Houston...
Amy's at home going, shut up.
When Whitney Houston moved out of her Newport Beach luxury rental, she left something behind. and that would be a Bible. It is now being sold by her former landlord for $95,000.
Wow. I thought I would have bought that. It was $100 or something.
She's got handwriting all over it. There's also some pages that document life events. And the guy who has it says, this is a good investment. I'm looking for a buyer. $95,000.
That seems a little steep, to be honest with you. But I'll tell you, in my opinion, it's a tragedy. When you go to rehab, one of the things, very few things you're allowed to read. And in certain rehabs, you're not even allowed to read the Bible. But you can get religion, much like in jail, real fast. And you start making notes in the King James Bible, and it's usually somebody's having a hard time with life and with letting go of the drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
Poor baby.
September 21st and 22nd at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, KZOK and iHeartRadio are presenting the biggest weekend of music all year long. Woo! It's the 2018 iHeartRadio Music Festival. That's right, it's back and tickets go on sale next Friday. But all week, KZOK giving you a chance to win your way into the show. The way you can win your way in, you're listening for a new keyword. You text it to 200-200 and you could win your tickets to both nights. Airfare, hotel accommodations, Leonard Skinner, JT, Magic Dragons. The list is really long.
That's some of my favorite people playing, though, right there.
Oh, yeah. The lineup is pretty amazing because it's just so many superstars that could sell out a show, any one of them on their own.
Paul was worried
Mariah's
about
gonna be there.
Right. Paul was worried about legalities because we said there's thousands of artists playing, which technically I guess isn't true. And then Paul said, but there are tons. And then Paul said, oh, I don't know. I think there's tons, man.
Yeah, I think so.
There's definitely tons of artists playing.
You can get all the details at iHeartRadio.com, and you're listening throughout the day right here for chances to win. Oprah Winfrey is still doing her book club, and she's got a recommendation that is helping its author a lot.
I'll bet.
His name is Anthony Ray Hinton. He wrote a memoir called The Sun Does Shine, How I Found Life and Freedom on Death Row. That is the latest pick for Oprah Winfrey's book club. This is a man who was wrongly imprisoned for 30 years.
Ooh.
He had been convicted of a double murder in Birmingham, Alabama. During a recent phone call with the Associated Press, they said, was Oprah Winfrey's a surprise? He said, yes, the second surprise of my life. The biggest surprise was being charged with a crime I didn't commit.
Yeah, it's a big one.
I almost never hear about people in Alabama who are in prison, especially like death row, who actually did it. All you hear about is people who are exonerated because, you know, it seems like everybody out of Alabama didn't kill anybody.
Well, first rule of jail, if you go in, there are no guilty people in jail. Sure. Everybody's innocent.
Well, it turns out this guy was not even remotely, there's not a shadow of a doubt that this guy is completely innocent.
Is he out?
He is now out, and that he has been exonerated, despite the fact he spent 30 years on death row, and now his memoir is out. Well, as soon as Oprah Winfrey made the announcement, it was #1 on Amazon.com. So Monday night, it was number 6,861 on the charts.
Right.
Still not that bad. There's a bunch of books on Amazon.com.
You know, it's surprised because they do the list so often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is 6,000 is actually not, you're not doing that well.
Well, within hours of Oprah making the announcement, he and this book displaced the new Bill Clinton, James Patterson thriller.
Wow.
Yeah.
#1.
Cool.
Which, is it true that Bill Clinton book is a fictional account of a president who's trying to not get impeached? Like, is it really just his story?
No.
It's a little different than that, but yeah.
There's a
but
murder.
it's the story of also the president's gone missing.
Okay. So what do you wish would have happened?
Yeah.
That he just disappeared.
Jared Leto's incarnation of the Batman villain, the Joker, which was last seen in 2016's Suicide Squad, may be getting his own movie. If so, Jared Leto would star in and executive produce this movie. It would be set in the Suicide Squad universe, but it would be a standalone featuring Jared Leto as the lead.
You didn't care for his Joker?
No, I did not know. I thought it was fine, but he doesn't want to be compared to Heath Ledger, but too bad. You did, and you didn't hold up. It was good. It was interesting.
Yeah, I liked that movie, but I liked him least of everything in that movie.
Well, there you go. Remember that got creamed by the critics.
Yeah.
And I came in, I saw it that night, I went, no, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
And Netflix announced Orange is the New Black. Their season 6 will debut on July 27th. They said season 5 had a lot of unanswered questions, and we will see if they get answered in this new season. So the cool thing with a lot of these Netflix shows is you don't have to wait week by week to see them. Sometimes they do that on Netflix, but for the most part, they're like, bleh. Here's a whole season.
What do they do?
They do
Bleh. I was like throwing it up.
Bleh.
They throw up the
vomit
entire episode.
television. No, I got to go.
That is exciting.
Otherwise, I thought you were a weird vampire, but no.
I could say it's like a volcano. It's
but you
like
shouldn't.
magma.
Magma. Oh, I feel like a puppet.
Liquid hot magma.
Magma. Take a look at
I thought after Magma Monday we were going to be done with that.
Yeah, me too.
Apparently
Not
not.
having. I don't know.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports. Go Tips.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY, 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Big bats for your Seattle Mariners. Kyle Seager, Mike Zunino, Gene Segura all hit home runs to give the Mariners a 7-1 victory.
Damn right they did.
Hanging on to first place and not by a thread. They are hanging on. And
17 games up.
What?
Not quite 17 games up, but they're 2 games up.
Close enough.
Yeah.
James Paxton looking good. 5 o'clock start time for tonight's game, and it is once again against the Houston Astros.
Yeah. Another chance to kind of put a cushion in the lead.
That's correct. Go Mariners.
Go Mariners.
Go Mariners.
Max Scherzer keeps finding new ways to
I'm Scherzer.
flirt with history. The Nationals had a 4-2 win over the Tampa Bay Rays yesterday, and Max Scherzer threw an immaculate inning.
Wow.
The second of his career. He is only the 5th pitcher in MLB history to record multiple immaculate innings.
What the hell is it?
He threw 9 pitches and struck out all 3 people.
1 inning.
Yes.
And that's what he's paid, like, what, $50 million to do?
But think about it. It's rare to
I
throw.
didn't realize it was so rare.
Yeah, me either. It
That's
seems like it happened all the time. I struck out 3 guys in a row. Now let's play the game. I bet he didn't even win the game.
Striking him out on 9 pitches.
On 9 pitches.
Yeah.
So
Did
no
he win
balls, no swingings, no
fouls. I guess that's the big thing.
I guess that's the big thing.
So there's only one other person who did it so far this year.
Multiples.
No, one.
One.
Yes.
Who's that?
This was a pitcher for Baltimore named Kevin Gaussman.
I think the fact that I never heard of this guy makes it not that important.
Orioles stink this year. Anyway, UW softball, Florida State beat Washington 8-3. They win
bummer.
the WCW.
Yeah, totally bummer. Do guys play softball?
They play baseball.
Okay.
I mean, yes, men play softball.
Seems
They
a
have
little sexist
leagues,
to me.
But in the collegiate
Is there
level,
college softball for men?
I don't believe so.
not on
What
the
do we do? Too good? I think it's
there's
sexist.
clubs. You could play a club.
But not like as a Division I sport. No.
Well, I think that's sexist.
Okay. And there's not a female baseball team either.
And there's not a female president. I'm against it.
All right.
Several Philadelphia Eagles were very angry at Fox News yesterday. All this drama with Donald Trump and his uninviting of the Eagles to the White House over people taking a knee, not respecting, in Donald Trump's opinion, the flag. So yesterday, Fox News showed a picture of several Philadelphia Eagles taking a knee. Well, they got really mad and demanded a retraction, which they got. Some of the players who were taking a knee included Chris Long, who said, hey, guys, not a single Philadelphia Eagle player took a knee during the season.
But there's photographic evidence.
They were praying for an injured player.
Oh.
They were praying.
So this has nothing to do with the national anthem. They just happened to show a photograph.
No, they should get their retraction. Even though I don't know and I don't care.
They did.
But they should. Here's the problem with the news these days, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. CNN gives me my news, and thank you very much. And then Fox News totally lies to me and makes a bunch of stuff up. That's the way of the world. I'm comfortable with it. CNN, because they hate Trump so much, it just seems like they have an agenda to only give you bad stories about that guy. And there's some good news about that guy. And I think they may be lying to me more than Fox. So I luckily also watch our local newses, which doesn't have a dog in that fight, if you will. I mean, they report on the president, but it's not their agenda. But everybody's lying about everything in the news.
Well, this was something that Fox has apologized for and said, yeah, this was out of context. This was completely unrelated footage. This was players kneeled in prayer, and we apologize.
And CNN showed those same pictures, but they had photoshopped extra legs in, so it looked like they were standing up. And they're like, look, Trump made this up. They're not even kneeling. They're standing up the whole time.
LeBron James has said...
Totally, I believe you. It's here, my Paul.
LeBron James has said that neither the Cleveland Cavaliers nor the Golden State Warriors will go to the White House to celebrate an NBA championship.
Is that LeBron's call? I mean, it's true, I think, but it's not. Is that really LeBron's call?
What do you mean?
Especially since they're not going to win?
Yes. They talked about it. They just didn't make a joint announcement, which I thought was weird. He and Steph Curry talked about it, and they all agreed nobody's going to the White House.
I mean, we know Steph Curry wasn't going to go. He said he wasn't going to go last year, and they got uninvited, just like the Eagles.
Well, what they did was they toured the National Museum of African American History and Culture with kids from a nearby community center.
Oh, cool.
If that were to happen again, they will just repeat that. Steph Curry said that, yes, we stand by what LeBron James said. None of us are going to the White House, so don't even bother inviting us. End quote.
It's a good quote.
I may have made that part up. Game 3 between the Warriors and the Cavs is tonight at 6. Golden State leads 2-0. You can hear it on our sister station, 950 KJR AM, 6 o'clock start time. Tonight, the Sounders are playing in the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup, Sacramento Republic FC at 8 p.m. If you're wondering about hockey playoffs, they continue tomorrow. Game 5, Washington leads the series 3-1, 5 o'clock start time. In tennis, 72nd ranked Marco Cecchinato, who defeated 12-time major champion Novak Djokovic in 4 sets, stunning the tennis world.
It's very quiet, stunning. Yeah. The tennis game just stunned me.
Lowest ranked semifinalist in 19 years, the first Italian man to go this far in a major in more than 40 years.
Yeah, my people aren't that good at tennis, to be honest with you.
And lastly, in sports, a long-distance swimmer named Ben LeCompte set off on a big journey across the Pacific Ocean yesterday. This man is swimming to raise awareness about the current state of oceans and plastic pollution.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's been in the news a lot of wildlife, a lot of animals getting hurt by fishing line and plastics.
I'm shocked that it's just getting play in the last year or two. It's bigger than Rhode Island, an island of plastic garbage.
Yep.
And you go there, and you know how on the news you see dirty seagulls that have oil and stuff on them, and you know, somebody put oil on that seagull to make me sad. You go there, there's a bunch of seagulls with their heads stuck in plastic wrappers and stuff. It's terrible.
Lately, we've had problems with whales being covered in plastic, and this guy is trying to raise more awareness.
By doing something really stupid.
He is swimming 5,500 miles across the Pacific Ocean.
No, he's not.
He is. This will take him through the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is a plastic and debris island that is 3 times the size of France.
So that's actually good for him then, because he's got stuff to hold on to. Yeah,
but there's got to be
take a couple of days off.
There's all sorts of tricks to this. It's swimming from here to New York City and back to about Dallas. Is how far this guy's going to go.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think it can be done.
Him.
What?
He's got a yacht with him.
Is he towing it in his teeth?
He swims, and the yacht's alongside him, and then he gets out and sleeps on the yacht, and then the next morning starts swimming again.
Yeah, so he's taking the yacht from one place to another, while occasionally taking a dip.
You remember that Diane? What was that chick's name? Diane? Naiad. She couldn't stop, and she couldn't touch any boats. Like, they'd come up, and they're going to, like, squirt water in her mouth and stuff, and they're yelling, "Don't touch the boat! Don't touch the boat!" Because it will disqualify you. Or if they touch your hand and their hand, disqualify you. You didn't really swim from Cuba to America. This guy's lying.
Yeah.
He's just doing the easy version.
Yeah, well, the thing that makes it interesting is it's the hard version.
Well, it's just to raise awareness, so mission accomplished.
I'm going to
Stop
lift
throwing
a
plastic into ocean.
I'm going to lift 2,000 pounds, and I'm going to do the easy version, which is sit here.
I saw a guy litter yesterday. I shot daggers out my eyes at him. I was so mad. I'm like, I don't know if I'm giving him a dirty enough look, so I tried again.
You want your look to be dirtier than his littering?
And he saw me, I was like, I'm doing it again. I did it like 3 times. Give
Yeah?
him a dirty
Did he go
look.
back and pick it up?
No.
Oh, well, then it wasn't a dirty enough
Then
look.
it was, yeah, you didn't get what you wanted there, but I commend you for doing it.
Thank you. I should have kicked him.
You should have flipped him off for sure.
Yeah.
Because you could just go, is that girl nearsighted? What is she doing? But if you flip a guy off, he knows.
Sports this morning brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA. You know who would never litter?
I'll tell you right now, he would never litter. I would never
dirty.
flip him off. A lot of things. He wouldn't play cricket. I've been thinking about this guy all day. He's in my dreams.
Cornelius?
That is, yeah.
Got all
Is
corny.
his real middle initial Cornelius?
Not his middle initial, but his middle name.
I see your point there. How did you know that? He doesn't seem that close to you guys.
I stalk
I feel like he would have told me first.
No, when he's not in the studio, I go through his phone.
Well, that makes way more sense. My heart was a little broken. Steve was going to confess to you guys before me. Anyway,
I looked at his wallet.
Mr. Talent Pants is going to come in this room. Steve Slayton is going to play a lot of classic rock and roll because that's what he does. We will get out of his way. So, bye.